Hello and Happy New Year. It's 2023. I keep saying this is the place to be in every show intro. I'm not Jesse, continue it along.
It's 2023. It's the place to be where you can see me, Jesse Cox, and co-hosts.
And us three. Roll it back and say and us three. On
I like my better version.
Okay,
all right.
What
I did better.
Fine, Jesse. Fine.
It was more me-centered.
Fine. Now you're quiet, by the way. Now it just auto-leveled you to be quiet. I've pumped you up.
I realized I couldn't hear you during the intro because I was on the set to the wrong channel and I was wondering why everyone was being so icy to me. And I was like, I was only 2 minutes late, guys.
It's been a rough start to 2023, folks. We're 2 days in.
I was only 2 minutes late, guys. Come on. It's not that serious.
It's fine. It's the place to be in 2023 with us three and the MC
Echoes. There we go.
Crew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else?
Keep going.
Yeah.
Nothing rhymes. Crew doesn't rhyme with showy.
Also, there was an echo for both of you during the entire past.
Good night, everybody.
2 minutes.
It's been fun. We're back.
You want to just redo the intro? Should we just like No,
yeah.
No, we're not.
Too late for us.
Just restart.
I'm not in.
I'll open us up, and it'll be fun.
I know. I'm here for that.
All right. We're going to do the cold open countdown, but I'm not going to re-record. We're just going to fade over here. I'm going to mute you. I'm not going to mute myself. I'm going to play the song. Here we go. Rolling. And Bronze, we're coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5. Nope. And you're now live.
Welcome everybody to the MCU crew. It's 2023. We're your comic book 3, and we are so excited for the very first show of the year.
Damn, that was pretty good. The comic book 3.
Pretty good.
That's better than our. That's
pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Brought my host.
Yeah.
More energy.
It's pretty. It was pretty good. Yeah, it's a little. I'm gonna say a little too much energy. You can tone it down a bit, but like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Say that to the sponsored shows I do. I could literally come out there and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited to be here,
dude!" I hated that. They
would be like,
I remember doing a thing.
Can we get a little bit more energy out of the host?
I remember what I think. I'm trying to. Okay, I was in the MLG studios in New York, and we were doing we were recording something that was going to run during breaks at like a professional like MLG Pro Circuit event. Mm-hmm. And God, I wish I could remember what brand it was for. But the producer, we did a shoot, and like I was like, oh great, I felt pretty good about that. And the producer's like, we need a little bit more energy, and you need to be a little bit more excited. And it was like a 30-minute deal. And I was like, all right. So it's
every gig.
It's re-recorded.
So, and the thing is, I don't know why they hire me when that's what they want.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, like, I'm the wrong guy if you want energy and excitement.
Yeah.
Not me, baby. I'll be super excited. So funny.
They hired me to do the TwitchCon, what was it? 2019 voiceover.
Oh, yeah.
For like the opening ceremonies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the trailer that plays on the streams. It's the trailer that plays in the auditorium. They were like, hey, we want somebody that like is like a really, they were actually mostly looking at men. And I was one of the only women they had read or audition for the role.
Yeah.
Because they wanted this kind of like laid back style. And it was very much like, welcome to TwitchCon 2019. This isn't going to be like anything you've seen before, right? Like it was going to be like that. But there were some clips they play that the script is like, and whatever's going on over here, that seems like a little bit deprecating. So it was so funny because the people in the booth were like, we love this. This is exactly what we wanted. And then they would send it to their higher ups and the higher ups would come back and be like, she's just mean. She's just so mean to them. And I'm like, they know I didn't write this, right? Like I didn't.
No, you're just mean.
And they're
Bronze.
like,
you're just.
can you say it like and be nice? And I was like, okay. And whatever's going on over here. And they're like, well, no, like, because we still want you to be like, I don't really care about this, but don't be mean when you're insulting these clips that are on the screen.
Also, like, flirt with me a little, like, when you're like, and what's going on over here? Like, just like getting really.
Jesus.
And I was just like, I don't know how to make the words not mean. Like maybe we could change the script.
I don't know how to make words.
It's great
feedback.
feedback.
Make these words not mean.
Like,
I can't make these words mean,
because
sir.
it's literally like from the epic moments to the heartfelt ones. And whatever's going on over here. And it's like a dude with like this crazy face paint that's like just doing this weird dance. So it's very clearly like making fun of him. But I was like, I can't fix that this is the direction you went with the trailer. Like, they're just like, make your voice not mean.
Yeah, and just don't be mean.
That's good direction.
That's great direction.
Really good direction.
Yeah, don't be mean. Yeah.
Just don't. How about you don't be mean?
Yeah. I'm just let Jesse. 2023. Bronze, don't be mean. It's the year of don't be mean. We're just gonna, anytime that you have a hot take, Bronze, be a little bit mean about Wanda, okay?
You want me to not be mean for a whole year? What do I get if I do?
Brie Larson's a nice person, bro. Don't be mean, okay?
She supported NFTs. Okay. What do I get if I manage to be nice for a whole year? First of all,
what do you get?
You get some. We're gonna buy you an NFT if you're nice.
I will get you one NFT. Yeah, a Brie Larson NFT.
We're gonna get you an NFT of Brie Larson.
They're not worth anything.
Well,
you know what it is? It's worth a year's of you being a beautiful soul.
Yeah,
just faking it till you make it. Just treating the world with kindness.
So that's also not fucking worth anything.
It might be
emulating light out into the world.
I'll be nice for a year.
Might be worth
giving hope to those with none.
I'll do it for a Steam Deck.
I don't know. We'll see.
That's way too expensive for this.
That's kind of pricey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
I've named my price. Okay.
We can afford an NFT. Those things are cheap.
Yeah, NFTs are in our budget. A Steam Deck.
I'm not some cheap lady. If you're gonna buy my personality, it comes at a premium, and I only accept Steam Decks as payment. This is a one Steam Deck job. Some jobs are two Steam Deck jobs. Okay.
Okay.
I don't like this world in which you have like a pile of Steam Decks that you're gonna hoard for some reason. Like, I only collect Steam Decks.
I only get paid in Steam Decks.
She doesn't actually have a. Here's the thing: people keep giving her Steam Decks, but no one gives her a cable to charge it. So she just constantly has to get a new Steam Deck that can only be played
the other one away
for 3 hours, and then throws the old one away. Yeah, that's the deal.
I need so many.
That's the deal. Yeah, that's how it goes. Anyways, let's jump into the news. We have a little bit like breaking news as of I think about 14 hours ago. The reports of the injuries just came out from TMZ like 30 minutes ago. Jeremy Renner was in a serious accident last night. According to TMZ, he was plowing the road outside of his Tahoe home when the snowcat machine accidentally ran over one of his legs, resulting in heavy blood loss. Another neighbor who is a doctor reportedly was able to build a tourniquet to treat the leg until paramedics arrived. TMZ also reports that the police are treating the area as an active crime scene due to the fact that the snowcat has built-in safety features that should have prevented an accident of this nature. That's kind of a strange thing right there.
That's a little mystery, yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner is still listed as critical but stable condition with injuries suffered after experiencing a weather-related accident while plowing snow. That was according to
I
his
don't know if that-
representation.
Weather related, I don't know if that's
I
true.
kept
Like weather related
seeing
is like
that
an
headline,
icicle hit
and
you.
it's the most confusing headline in the entire fucking world.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I kept seeing it over and over again, like Jeremy Renner injured in weather-related accident while plowing, and I was like,
That's
okay, well,
a pu-
clearly there's
yeah.
some inclement weather. He's plowing.
That's a publicist like smoothing that over to make sure that like
I was like, what does that even
Yeah.
mean? Like,
yeah, that's a publicist at work there. But yeah, that was the latest update was about 30 minutes ago, and that's when they found out that it was because the snow cat rather, ran over one of his legs. That's the latest as of Monday morning at 12:18 p.m.
Whoa.
Jesse just saw his leg.
No, I didn't see his leg. I went to go look what a snowcat was.
They're huge.
In my mind, I was thinking like
huge.
one of those things that like
No, they're massive.
It's a vehicle.
Yeah,
It's a vehicle.
yeah.
vehicle.
It's like what the Hydra agents in Age of Ultron were driving in the opening.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes.
If one of those came over his leg, I'm gonna assume that he's not recovering for a minute.
No, critical is not a good place to be when you're in the hospital, especially due to blood loss. It's not a good spot. So,
I mean, you have to imagine it crushed his leg, right?
probably.
Like, in my mind,
Yeah.
when you said blood loss, I thought it was one of those ones that, like if there's just a normal push snow thing that has like the blades, and I was like, oh, it probably cut him up.
Oh, you thought it was
No,
like
this-
laceration type of situation?
No, this crushed his leg. Wow.
Yeah,
that
no.
sucks.
I would not want to be him.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
The way that the spokesperson or the way that statement came out with being very vague, that usually means it's bad. So, we'll see. I'm sure TMZ will get more information as they can. But the fact that he's critical but stable is the best news, I guess.
Is it weird that I'm the only person that's like kind of sitting here like, why does he have one of those?
He's got a lot of stuff like that. He was clearing
Lake
here's
Tahoe.
he on his Instagram, he clears the roads. He was clearing the roads so his
for
family
like his neighbors.
Yeah, he was clearing the road so they could get out of the house. Is essentially what he does with the snowplow. But he posts a lot of that stuff on his Instagram of just like the giant machinery that he owns.
Okay, because
He doesn't just
I'm
buy
just-
it to be like, look at me, I bought a snowcat.
well, and I'm also one of those people that I'm like, you should maybe leave that to people that do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like big machines are fun. I've definitely talked to Chad about how if I had money, I would probably own a tank like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like a historical vehicle,
Sure.
There was an episode of Anthony Bourdain I was watching, or was it Top Gear, where they have like these like really cool boats that can like kind of run in like any
Condition.
environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they like jet stream water through the back, and I was like, I'm one of those people that would be crazy enough to have that because I'm not super into cars, but like, would I have a military boat? Probably,
True.
But
Will you?
when we're talking about like machinery that serves a work function, like a snowcat or a caterpillar or any of those, at that point, I feel like you should probably really, 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 really know what you're doing. Because you could kill somebody else too. Even if he didn't crush his own leg, he could have crushed somebody else.
I don't think this was like his first go on this. I think it was just an accident. I don't think it was because he didn't know what he was doing. He's posted countless videos. He's a volunteer firefighter in a city. Like he's been around this stuff.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been around this stuff. Jesse, what were we gonna say?
Will the two of you invest in a hovercraft with me?
I don't know. Hovercrafts are kind of lame.
Hovercraft streams? Are you talking about like in Florida, we're like on the
Everglades
wetlands
situation?
streaming?
Not like a bayou, like one of those like a swamp, like those. I'm talking about like a shitty hovercraft with an inflatable bottom.
Wait,
we like drive around on beaches and like.
Hold on. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What if we just get a hovercraft, but it's one of those ones that has like a giant leaf blower on the top that they use in like gym class for rich public
Oh,
schools.
no, you're talking about oh, what are those? The swamp things. I'm trying to think of what those are called.
Hovercrafts. Swamp Kings.
No,
Yeah, those are
they have a real
Yeah,
name.
they are.
The prince
I
of
thought
the
that's- yeah.
swampies, of the marshes. I don't know what the brand is.
Yeah.
A fan boat?
Are we
That's
gonna
what
go
Chad's
marching?
saying.
Fan boat,
guys?
airboats, fan boats. Yeah, fan boat.
I
Yeah.
don't even know what a fan boat is. The fan boat just the
They're,
one with the giant fan on the
swamp
back?
boats or a yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what Bronze was
Yeah.
thinking.
Now I
of.
do that too. And we could go to the bayou and I'd be like, welcome me. And I have like a pickle hanging out my mouth or something.
What?
And, I'd wear like overalls.
The overalls,
like a
yes.
Okay.
Like
Looking-
overalls.
On Wikipedia, the number one picture is what I was imagining, which is a Formula One racing hovercraft. But they have that like in a river.
Sure. You can take hovercrafts anywhere until it pops, but yeah.
It's only $32,000 if we
That's what
want
I'm
to
saying.
get
What if
one
we
of
invest
those
together?
and
We
race it.
put our faces on the side of it.
That's so fucking.
Oh my God! Yes.
I'm not getting 32
Can we
grand
put
for a.
the MC? Can we put the MCU crew logo?
Yes,
on
we
it
can
and
put
just,
the
like-
MCU crew on a fictional thing that we're not buying.
Yeah.
Totally, Bronze. Totally.
By the way, I looked up what critical but stable means because I was curious because that's a vague thing. Apparently means his vital signs are within normal limits, but he's in a life-threatening condition. Which I guess
I think it's blood loss though. Is because they said that there was a massive amount of blood loss when they went to the scene of the quote unquote crime.
Yeah.
Well, have you
Wasn't
seen
like
the
threatening
treads on a
himself.
snowcat?
Oh, they're
Like, that would be
huge.
one of those situations. Like, if it runs over your leg, do you back it up, or do you keep it going, or do you stop and wait for someone to lift it up? Like, and they
Depends
also
how
have
far
like
it went
a
over your
blade
leg.
type situation on the treads too. If you look at it, it has like a blade type situation on the legs.
Yeah. Oh, it's not
Unpleasant.
a good
That's unpleasant.
thing for sure. I
que-
also
again-
wonder like about the built-in safety features. Like why didn't they kick in? Right, it's kind of wild.
Great. Another question: how
That
big was this
part.
thing? How does one get one leg run over if you're not who was driving it?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think
But-
that's where the safety features come in. I bet you it was a situation where he got out to check something or to take
no.
something off, and then it like the parking gear or whatever gave out, and he was maybe able to get one leg out, or I don't know. That's my situation. Like, because for him to also be in front of it probably means like it was on an incline or wasn't, and he didn't think it was supposed to move, and then it moved.
Oh, it's Anton Yelchin, the guy who was in
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Trek, the new Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
Who his car killed him. Like that's crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm sure they will continue to report on that. Sad story for sure to open up the new year. What else is going on? We got some news out of Charlie Cox. He's talking about Daredevil. Two quotes specifically. He says, quote, "I don't think it's a different character," he said in a recent interview with UK's iNews. He goes on and says, "I just think it's maybe a different period of his life. I don't think my interpretation will change. They hired the same actor. We're saying this is a whole new era or variant. I haven't read the script, so I don't know, but like it's part of the multiverse question mark." So that sounds like the most vague bullshit. I don't want to get in trouble with Disney, but I'm going to give you something to say answer.
Well, I don't think
I
he's-
mean,
Like, they might not have told him. They might have been like, keep it vague while we decide what to do. Because whatever they
Yeah.
say paints the next writer for Daredevil into a corner, right? If he
Right.
definitively says, like, I would be pissed if I was writing on that project, and then the actor goes and says, well, it's all in the same continuity. Because then I'd be like, great. Okay, so that really limits me on what the fuck I can do, right? Like,
Yeah.
for all we know, they might not have like decided what to keep and what to flesh and all of that stuff. Speaking of, I don't know the validity of this. My chat was talking to me about it. Apparently, as of last night, there's Iron Fist news.
Oh, I didn't see that. Let me finish the Daredevil before we jump to that. He said he goes on to talk about the show in a separate interview with NME, and said that he expects Born Again to dive into Murdoch's courtroom drama much more than the show that exist within the Defenders saga. He said, quote, I'm fascinated to discover why they've chosen to do 18 episodes. I'm imagining there's going to be an element to it that is like the old school procedural show, not necessarily case of the week, but something where we go deep into the Matt Murdock, the lawyer, and get to see what his life is like. If that's done right and he gets his hands dirty with that world, I think there's something quite interesting about that. To spend a lot of time in a superhero's day-to-day life and you really earn the moments when he suits up. I kind of like that, like a different aspect of Daredevil that's not so focused on the crime fighty version of him. I'd be into that. Doesn't sound too bad to me.
Yeah.
18 episodes is a lot though. Like that's a long series. I can't name a show in the past 5 years that I've watched that it has more than 10 episodes in season 1.
I think it'll fix a lot of the issues with Marvel shows though, because I think like not having more than 8 to 10 episodes usually ends up with a Moon Knight-esque situation, like where they just have to rush everything in the last 2 repeatedly.
Yeah.
And I think especially like with Daredevil, like Charlie Cox brings this like whole element of like to the good Catholic boy side of it, that he did such a good job on the Netflix series with. Like he makes that character very I don't know how to describe it, like just very like it comes from like a very like heart like sensitive kind of place that it's just as interesting outside of the suit, and then his performance in the suit, those like fight scenes are so amazing too, that it becomes one of those things where it's like you do want both. And I think if they did it in 8 episodes, they would have to strip down on one or the other. Either he would probably be in the costume most of the time, or
Yeah.
yeah, I was super excited for Daredevil Born Again. And then like I looked into this Iron Fist news because people were talking about it last night.
Yeah, what was that news?
There's one tweet that says from Marvel Updates that has 13,000, almost 14,000 likes, that says Iron Fist is going to appear in Daredevil Born Again. And I was like, I have to see that fucking man's face in Daredevil.
Maybe. It doesn't mean it's the same Iron Fist. It doesn't mean like we don't know anything really about it.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
That's the only one. I think that was from sometime like the 21st or something.
Yeah.
That was an update, but like there's been nothing besides that. So
there's
I guess IGN reported on it on the 28th and kept saying that Finn Jones.
But did IGN say? But was IGN like in a tweet that we saw the other day? Because IGN does that often.
Yeah.
Where they're like, "Here's breaking news in a tweet we saw."
Yeah, IGN asked him.
Oh, in an interview.
He said, "Yeah," and he said
Finn
he's so excited.
Or Charlie Cox?
Finn.
Okay.
And they said that basically he said that, oh my gosh, he's so excited that Charlie Cox gets to be Daredevil again, and he would do anything to be Iron Fist again. And like I said, the part about that kind of I'm kind of miffed about is like they definitely set up Jessica Henwick from what y'all have told me to be the next Iron Fist. So for him to be holding on to that, I'm kind of past a little bit, you know, like.
I hope it's Jessica Henwick. I mean, she's on a roll right now in Hollywood, so I could see why.
Glass Onion was great. Shout out to
he's been posting videos of him like training extensively, which is the other reason. Because chat just be saying shit, and last night chat was basically acting like, oh no, Iron Fist is back. You need to get over it, Bronze. And I'm like,
that might just be them trolling.
I think you need to get over.
He might just be trying to manifest it, right?
True.
Like.
Yeah.
I feel bad because, like I said, he's been posting videos of him working out, training with kettlebells, very clearly training for something. And I think people are assuming he's a shoo-in for the role, but doesn't mean just because he wants it doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
And if he's training, maybe that'll solve a lot of the issues with what happened in the show.
Going back to Charlie Cox, I think a lot of the things we're seeing now are those weird, like we got Daredevil back, and the first time we got him back was for a brief moment in one movie, and then he returns as like, it's Daredevil, he's back, but in a comedy show.
Yeah.
And I think all the discussion people are having is like, what's Daredevil? And they're worried that the Daredevil, when they say like, is it really our Daredevil? There's they're like basing it off of him showing up for a few goofs in a comedy show and then being like, "That's not my Daredevil. My Daredevil would never sleep with her. My Daredevil is like a good boy," like like that kind of stuff. And so everyone's kind of like, not when I say everyone, I mean a very specific subset of like weirdos on the internet, But like,
we got a year
kind
till
of
it comes
relate
out, so.
to those weirdos on the internet in a different way. I think the reason I relate is I had a similar reaction to people saying they wanted Punisher on Disney Plus, where I was like, Disney makes everything a joke, everything's a comedy, and like they can't do that to my boy Bernthal, right? Like I had that same moment. And so I was like, you know what? No matter if Disney does it or what they do with it, the Netflix Punishers are always there and I can always go and watch them.
Can you watch that, by the way, on Disney Plus yet? Is Netflix Punisher on Disney Plus?
I can go look.
Good question. I believe it was last time I looked, but maybe I am in a fever dream.
With Daredevil, remember they made that whole new.
Yeah,
well, they made the whole new thing, but still, like, with a quick brain scan, which is not much, I'm aware. That might be the darkest thing on Disney Plus.
Yes, you can watch it on Disney Plus.
Man, that's kind of.
They made that new whole like setting or whatever that is, like the age verification thing.
That's got to be the darkest thing on that platform in terms of the content.
Yeah, I had the same trepidation. I think, however, my trepidation is more understandable than the Daredevil weirdos. I feel like my nervousness comes from a much better place than my Punisher would never sleep with that green lady. Mine is more like, please don't make this a PG-13 quippy jokey thing. He's in it. It's a comic for edgelords. Keep it edgy. Right?
I'd be surprised if Barenthal, if they did do something Punisher related with Barenthal attached to it, I'd be surprised if he like didn't fight for it to be that, right? Like I think he has, at least in all the interviews I've seen him in, he has like such respect for that character that he wouldn't want it to be the quippy Punisher that a Disney executive would want. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Born Again does well so that we can see that that part of the universe expand, right? Like that street level aspect expand. I think if it does well, I would love to see, I think, Spider-Man be thrown in there. I don't know how that works.
Do you think we'll see?
I don't know how that
Spider-Man?
works licensing wise, because Sony's gonna be like, we're not letting you on Disney Plus with Spider-Man. Like, what are you talking about?
They set it up. Sony doesn't have a thing though. They don't have a platform.
You know what my
theory
is?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like an unhinged theory, but it's the theory.
Go on.
Because they've opened the multiverse up. Like, what's to say we can't get a multiversal, like a different, and then they could say this Daredevil's from a different reality, and the Daredevil that got crushed in the Heroes for Hire is a different one. They could theoretically do that.
I hope we don't go down that road though.
Multiversal.
Yeah.
Like,
don't do that.
I hate
Daredevil.
that.
It could.
I hate that idea. I hate that they just give an
don't
excuse.
Like it. I don't like it, but I think it allows them to put like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in a show with Daredevil. I think it could, because
that's still Sony.
Technically the Loki we have is not from the multiverse or from the timeline that the rest of we're in.
Right.
It's a different timeline Loki, right?
Yeah.
So like we have one character that's out of the timeline. There's nothing to say we couldn't have another character that's out of the timeline.
But like a street level Spider-Man would be like too much.
That's why I'm thinking retired Spider-Man. That's literally why I was like
gruff, I'm out of the business Spider-Man.
I wouldn't hate if they brought Tobey Maguire back. I would not hate if they were like, oh yeah, Tobey's a retired Spider-Man that occasionally helps Daredevil now. Like I wouldn't be mad at that.
That'd be fun.
I wouldn't be angry. I don't think it would work in a movie, but I do think it would work in a show.
Yeah. It does, however, have the vibes of Disney Star Wars, where they brought Rian Johnson on, and then immediately were like, "Oh, we made changes, and people wanted old stuff, so now we're gonna like retcon everything in a third movie." It has the exact same vibe of like, we brought back all these characters, and you didn't like the characters we brought back, so now we're gonna. It's your old favorite, and it's like, just stick to your guns and
Yeah.
do something or don't. But like,
That-
this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That's kind of I agree. I think if you're gonna do it, you have to think about why you're using that character, other than people want to
Right.
see them. And I actually think that's what's missing from the MCU right now. I think like they will jam characters in because people want to see this character in the She-Hulk show. People want to see, and they don't really think through. But what purpose is this character serving in this show, or does this character still need to be around? Would they? Which is why the roster keeps swelling because if people think Aquafina is funny, clearly she has to keep coming back for Shang-Chi, even if they have no reason plot-wise to keep her in there, right? Like they have to find a reason to keep these people back, because people love them. We got to bring them back. We got to bring them back.
Sidekick character, star power.
Right.
Gets people in the seats. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Born Again's not scheduled to come out till looks like early 2024. So we're a ways away from that. Probably going to start filming this summer. We'll see if some stuff gets leaked for all that. We got some Ant-Man news. The last little bit of news here. According to a quick promotion during this past Saturday's Fiesta Bowl, which is a sports thing. A new look at the movie is going to debut at the NCAA National Football Championship on Monday, January 9th. So next Monday evening, they're going to put out a new trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, did they call that other thing was that a teaser? Someone pull up that the trailer if you can, or whatever they put out on like the Marvel Studios YouTube. Is it teaser or is it trailer?
We've had a teaser and we've had a trailer so far.
Okay, so we have had a full trailer, is what they.
Yeah, there was the teaser, and then the trailer's the one that ends with Ed Bed, like that. Like him meeting King.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Men.
Well, we'll see what else they.
And then
show
there's a
in
bunch
that.
of other footage of that scene floating around as well, that adds some context to that scene. But it's super spoilers, so
Yeah,
look it up at your own risk.
yeah, that was the stuff that was shown at D23. I think is what you're referencing.
Yeah, but there's also like other like not shaky camera footage of some guy filming it. There's other footage of like clips of that scene of them meeting, and I bet if you put it all together, you could get a complete scene like that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. And then Marvel also this morning, as of 38 minutes ago, they tweeted out a 2.5-minute look at Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, rolling onto the Disney Channel on February 10th. It's about a 2-minute and 30-second trailer. What do you guys know about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur?
Whole bunch of nothing.
I read the comics. It was under my age range.
Yeah, it's
can't-
targeted at a
wasn't
younger
bad.
demographic. Yeah.
Yes. So it was one of those things. I remember reviewing the first couple of issues. It wasn't bad at all, but I was definitely like, oh, definitely for kids, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
All I know is that in Marvel Snap, they have great synergy with one another, and they're fantastic before you hit pull 3. If you put those, and even past pull 3, if you you can Moon Girl on turn 4, Devil Dinosaur 5, and then Devil Dinosaur again 6, and you can maybe control 2 lanes.
Speaking of video games, update on the greatest controversy of our time. Midnight Suns. I have, ever since I discovered that Blade wanted to get with Captain Marvel,
Spoilers.
and I cannot woo and romance any characters in that game, I decided that it is my life duty to cockblock Blade. However,
same. I've been doing the same. How far are you,
one of my
though?
missions. What now?
So finish your statement, and then I'll follow up.
Well, in one of my missions, I was trying to like level my underleveled characters up, so I brought only like my lowest level people. And in that mission, Venom showed up, and I was like, "What?" And so now I had a boss fight in a normal mission for my underleveled characters. They were all getting beat. Nico was just getting pummeled. It was bad times all around. Blade single-handedly saved everyone, and from that moment on, it was like, Blade,
he's pretty good.
Blade. And it has been my mission. I am hyping Blade up to Captain Marvel. I'm like, every time I see Blade, I'm like, Captain Marvel's thinking about you, bro. I am in there. He's my dude now.
So
all he had to do was save the world, and frankly, I'm here for it.
How many book club meetings have you had?
I'm having less book club, and I'm spending more of my time with the shop boys.
Me
Okay.
too. I had a similar situation to you, Jesse, except who saved me was Robbie. Ghost
Oh.
Rider is kind of cracked. If you
You
get
have to get his cards
right-
upgraded. He sucks
Yes.
otherwise.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of damage to himself. So you have to
Yes.
have like ways to compensate for that. But like if you can get him working, he does insane amounts of AoE damage. And like him compared, I have him with Doctor Strange. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
lost, I think it was Captain Marvel early on. And so, and my Doctor Strange deck is like a knockback deck. So it's like he makes a
Right.
hellhole, Doctor Strange just sweeps them all into the hellhole, and it's like it works perfectly.
Yeah.
And then for the bigger characters, you run them over with the car. But yeah, I'm Shop
Yeah.
Boys all the way. Yeah,
Yeah, Shop Boys is fun.
So
especially
Just-
because Peter also synergizes with Robbie because he has lots of knockback.
Yeah, with the
Peter got good
knockbacks.
knockback too.
Together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jesse, you should push the Blade book club a little bit.
Okay.
Keep doing
All right.
that book club. You get some fun characters that join the book club later on in the book club, and it's real stupid.
I need to play more of that game, but then Dark and Darker dropped. And
Dude,
so-
it's a 90-hour game. There's a lot of game to play there.
My hero now is in a tight pink top
Yep.
with white pants.
Oh, you're saying casual clothes.
Oh, my casual. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still
And,
have
I'm gonna let you know,
your mom's a witch.
He's the
type
purest
deal.
man who ever lived.
Oh, we're so
He's
different.
so pure. And every time, like, the best part is Blade can't admit he like loves Carol Danvers, but can't admit it. So my guy's just like,
big simp energy.
why not go in there and just tell her that you love her? And he's like, bitch, what? And he's like, just go in there. Speak your feelings, for they are true. And he's like, shut your goddamn mouth. And I'm like, Blade, I'll go do it right now. And I walk over. I'm like, Blade loves you. It's amazing.
Dude, there's
so
this God. There's a moment in that game where Blade is standing around a character that I'm not going to say who it is, and you go up to him, and you're just casually dropping the conversation about Carol to Blade, and
Right.
he's like, God, I forgot the word. He basically tries to avoid the conversation because someone's there, and then you like follow up and like, what are you talking about, dude? Like like everyone knows, and he's like, no, I don't know. Stop. Like, he gets very upset. It's so good. The writing of that game's fantastic.
Anybody that you didn't like as a character, and then you played this game and you liked, and anybody that you liked as a character, and then you played this game and you didn't like them anymore, or you don't like them in the game, I should say.
I don't know if I don't like. I think Doctor Strange in the game is kind of meh for me.
Yeah, he's a little milquetoast. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I also don't like the fact that Spider-Man, they literally were like, how can we make him Johnny no face?
He's
white
kind of
guy?
lame too. Yeah.
Like he is
Yeah.
very like as a character, Spider-Man's great. Voiceover is great. I mean, it's Spider-Man from the game, but like design, he is like, hello, I am
Yeah.
NPC white guy in the background of every GTA. And you're like,
yeah.
why you look like this, dude?
To be
Yeah.
honest, like Magic is my favorite character in the game. She's so unbelievably
Which is-
broken.
Hilarious because like I have a Magic statue behind me. Magic is one of like my favorite comic book characters. I can't stand her skill set in the game. Like it doesn't.
Oh my
match
God,
with-
she's so broke. Well, she doesn't match with like Ghost Rider for sure. Yeah.
No, she doesn't synergize with the characters I use. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
She
I
is
just like can't
dude. So
stand
if you
her. Like
man, if you finish her friendship quest, you get a card called Dark Child. It taunts everyone in the game, gives magic counter, and makes her invulnerable. So it taunts
that's pretty
everyone on the map.
mm.
And she just starts obliterating people. It's super, 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 super strong.
I think for
don't
me,
know.
like Captain Marvel has been like
She's so
it's
fucking
like,
good, dude.
you
She's
don't even
busted.
have to upgrade
Yeah.
the cards. Like she's like
Oh, God,
cracked
she's
out of the
cracked, yeah.
fucking gate. Like it's
Yeah.
so it's like for me, I'm like I don't know. Like if I have to choose between Magic and Captain
Have-
Marvel, I'm taking Captain Marvel every single time because like she just
She's
does
so good.
insane amounts of
Have you guys
damage,
unlocked the
like-
ability to mod your cards yet?
Yes, I think
Jesse?
so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's like I feel like that's where the game starts 20 hours in. Whenever
There's a
you
lot,
can
there's
mod
a
your
lot
stuff.
of that.
Yeah.
There's like the tutorial for things you should have figured out 15 hours ago are happening right now, and you're like, bro, what?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
mod
there's a
stuff
lot
is
of that.
crazy.
I have with the game, honestly, is I feel like there's like a pacing issue almost where I'm like raring to get to dive in and the game has the training wheels on
Yeah.
and you just have to wait. Like that was really frustrating.
Well,
There's
Yeah.
also
Like the
sleep
first
component.
20 hours, it feels like it has the training wheels on and you just have to like, they don't trust the players to be able to figure it all out. And so you're just like, I want to get more characters and I want to do this stuff. And you're just like,
Yeah.
I always forget
there's a
to
bunch
sleep.
of cutscenes.
I'll run around looking for stuff, and I'll be like, no one is around right now. I'm like, oh, that's right, I have to
You
sleep.
got to sleep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I'll go
Yeah.
to bed and wake up and be like, you have 85 messages. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
It's a little
Like-
overwhelming. It's a little Animal Crossing in that regard, where
Yes.
it almost feels like a mobile game where it's like, oh, you've done all you can do for today, and then you wake up the next day, and I'm just kind of like, this is like so much to manage. Like I have so many
I ask you a
messages, I have so
question?
many.
Absolutely.
Does Nico love bomb you? Because that shit is happening constantly for me.
Yeah, she's a
I don't
little.
know what I've done, but she, like-
Yeah.
Constantly sends me like, hey, what are you doing? How's it
Yeah.
going? What? I'm like, Nico, no one else private messages me. You do it all
Yeah.
like 15 times a day. Stop it.
She's a little.
Nico's
little
one of the
touchy.
ones I loved from the comics, and then in the game, I'm like, I just find you to be annoying. I'm so sorry.
Although her witch skin is the best
Oh,
skin
it's the
in
best
game.
skin. Yes.
That like dark witch skin is
Yeah.
so cool
Yeah.
looking.
Some of
Can't beat
the hunter skins that you get later on are pretty badass though. I don't know if you've seen
I
the.
like Robbie's knight, that like armored
Yeah,
knight skin.
I think Robbie's
cool.
if you're comparing all the base skins to one another, I think Robbie has the best
Sure.
like normal default skin. I think it looks sick. I love that
I like the
rendition of
animations
Ghost Rider.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that portrayal of Ghost Rider looks fucking awesome. Really big
I
fan of
don't
that.
use Robbie enough. Robbie is it's always
You got to get his
Robbie-
cards or he sucks, man.
Yeah, I don't use that's the problem is I'm like
his default deck is not
not
good.
good.
I got forced into a mission where it was like Ultimate 1 difficulty, and I have not leveled up or used Robbie at all. And so it was just default cards where you had to use them for a story mission. Guys, that mission, I was there for like an hour and a half. trying. So
I felt that
Yeah.
way when Venom
His-
showed up
his-
and that my team was dead.
yeah.
That was the longest fight. That
Honestly,
was
Blade's deck is a little like that too. The damage
Yeah.
is really underwhelming until you get him
Gotta get those
rolling,
cards,
and
yeah.
then he's amazing. But
when
like,
you get his card that like every card after this has bleed.
Yeah.
And suddenly all of his cards
Yes.
have bleed. And then he's like, oh, and if anyone has bleed, I F them up now. That is like
Yeah.
rolling. It's
Yeah.
madness.
Yeah.
he is combo based, and if you don't have the combo cards, it's not great. It's just like I only recently built a comp where Doctor Strange becomes ridiculous, and it's because he's based off of how much what is it called, power you have.
Oh,
Like, all of his
heroism
cards
or whatever.
stack.
Yeah.
Yeah, heroism. Like, so you have to have the right combination of cards where you have another character that's stacking heroism, and then once you get over 12, his cards start doing like 128 damage. Like,
his axe
yeah, some of the
is
characters
busted.
require help.
The
Yeah,
axe
yes,
of
his axe
Agamotto
is
or whatever.
crazy. Yeah,
It literally will do like the least damage I've seen it do is 64.
Yeah.
Like that
Yes.
dude will roll in like you're all dead. That thing is insane. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I need to
I
need to
usually
use him more.
use him, and yeah, I have like almost like a mill deck where I can take 30 like free actions a turn because it's like he does his like, oh, on the next turn you can like, what is it? It's like you get you can play 2 extra cards and something like that. Like his is
Yes.
another one of those where if you can get it working, it's great, but if you pull a handful of like the Eye of Agamotto cards or whatever, you're like, I can do nothing with this. So I've actually, for my items, I've gotten a bunch of like draw cards and like basically like redraw cards, because I'm like, if you pull a bad hand with Doctor Strange, you can't do anything. You're like, it looks like I'm not doing anything this turn, but if you pull a good hand with him, it's like, looks like I'm playing 18 cards and doing 74 damage next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially I don't know if it always happens with Blade. I don't know if it's a Blade specific mechanic, but having like a card refund. When that
Yeah.
happens, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. I'm just like, oh, a refund. You mean I've get to use 18 cards this turn. Don't mind if I do. And everyone's
Yeah,
just dead. and you're like,
Spider-Man is
"All right."
the most similar to that I've noticed, where Spider-Man's is like, you know, you get to do this and it's free if it knocks someone out and draw 2. And if
Right.
any of those are this specific card, you could do it for free and then draw 2. And you can like end up drawing like a bunch of cards with him.
Lovely. Yeah,
That's good.
It's a fun game. It's like
It's a fun game.
it's goofy amounts of fun. Yeah, I
It's
love
good.
it.
Takes
My-
advantage of mechanics that it takes advantage of the fact that it's a digital game, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like, because if this were a physical card game, I don't know about y'all, maybe this is like just a me thing, I fucking hate shuffling. So when I play Magic and it's like, search your deck for a land card, take it, put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle your whole deck, I'm like, do I want to play this card? Because then I have to shuffle my whole deck.
Yeah.
I know it's such a stupid thing. I just hate shuffling so much. So like searching for a card. So
I
I
get it.
love digital games that will like auto search and auto shuffle and auto, because then it's like less tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah, card games are a weird beast because I'm with you. I don't like the I gotta do this with the cards. I gotta do like having it
Mhm.
all digitally is so convenient. With that said, part of card games is the rarity of cards and the physicality of that rare card being like, this is a $500 card. That like means something, but when they try to sell you, like in this game, they don't do that because it's not one of those like buy your card things. But like in most online card games, they sell you the rarity, but it's like this is a nothing. This is pixels.
It's pixels.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
I
a
don't-
weird. I don't know. You know.
I don't. I mean, it's a longer discussion, and it's also played out in kind of a stupid one. But I have
Sure.
to say, I don't view Marvel Midnight Suns as a card game at all.
Oh no, it's a
Yeah,
it's
no. Yeah. It
but
definitely
it uses cards.
It.
it uses cards, and I think like
Yeah.
it takes advantage
Yeah.
of if it were a game that
It's weird
you
to
had
talk about. Exactly what you're saying right now is what my mental because it's like it's not a card game, but it uses
Mm,
cards as if they were like hotkeys that you were putting on a bar.
Well,
Yes.
it's very similar to Potionomics, which just came out, which is a lovely game, by the way. Everyone should play it. But it's a like potion like shop simulator thing. But when
Yeah.
you try to sell cards, the idea is you're card battling with people to haggle them to buy your products. But it's not a card game. It's the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Mm-mm.
It's just a mechanic used, which
I
is you know what?
personally
I'm kind of
think-
here for it.
I think the reason that they went with decks is that if they had a skill tree, which is what they really are, if
Yeah.
they had a skill tree for each and every character the way they do in XCOM, I think people would have said it was overwhelming, because I love
I would
XCOM,
agree with that.
but I have gotten that feedback from other people that don't like it, that are like, it's just so much to manage. And I'm like,
The-
I don't feel that way, but I could see that being intimidating, having to manage the gear or the abilities of all of these Marvel heroes.
yeah.
Right.
The other side of
A
that
deck
coin,
makes
though,
it less intimidating.
totally agree. The other side of that coin is the second people hear it's a card game, the bias is like, well, fuck that. I'm not even going to play it.
I think they're gonna open card packs and stuff. Yeah.
Like they have to
It's
buy
more
cards,
accessible.
etc.
It's-
Yeah.
You're spending less time looking at the percentage, like will a 95% hit? The only time I've ever had to do that is for knocking people into Robbie's
Knocking
hole.
people back.
Other
Yeah.
than that, yeah, there's no
Mhm.
like, it's just gonna work. And so I like
Yeah.
that. It's easier to
think-
just jump in and play.
I think it's a like the concepts they're using are not uncommon to the turn-based strategy format. They have just found ways to do it where it's like, oh, you go to the training and then you spend money. That's the same thing as like going and training and leveling up your units every single time they level up.
Yep.
And the difference is these are memorable characters with a lot of flavor in their abilities versus this is a gunner, this is a sniper, this is that.
And what's even, even on the non-combat side, I just like was thinking about this the other day. I think it's fun that at the beginning there's a lot of like, we'll explain the
Lot
whole
of
world to you.
dialogue,
Like,
yeah.
but once you get past that, you get the fun moments where it's like the Midnight Suns Midnight Suns are kind of pissed that the Avengers have taken over
Yeah.
their little operation.
Yeah.
Like little moments like that where it's super.
And that
you're
gets
like,
better.
okay,
That, like that
Yeah, this
only
is
they only
fun.
expand on shit like that where there's
yeah.
random interpersonal issues between a lot of people at the game. Or where
Unexpected.
everyone's just talking about like, man, so and so's really depressed. What are we gonna do to help them help them like cheer up? And you're like, this is so fucking stupid. But at the same time, I like the lightheartedness. I like how silly it is. You don't really get that too much with like Marvel IP.
I think like it hits on why the comics are kind of good, because one thing I think that the MCU they haven't done a great job with is like making the like when you have so many groups, like making the inter-hero conflict more nuanced. And there is like, even now, especially in the X-Men storylines, there's a shit ton of politics.
Yeah.
Like the AXE stuff is very much like, oh, this is what the Avengers believe, this is what the X-Men believe, this is what the Eternals believe, and none of them really trust each other, and none of them particularly like each other, and they will sometimes strike alliances with some people. And this was even like, is one of my favorite like pieces of House of M, is when the X-Men are like, Wanda's a mutant, therefore the Wanda problem is a problem we must deal with. And Captain America and them are like, but she's also an Avenger. So therefore, this is an Avengers problem that has to be dealt with in an Avengers fashion. Because the X-Men are like, all right, so we have to kill her. And it seems really harsh, but they're also like, we Dark Phoenix, we've dealt with this shit in the past. Like we've lost so many
it gets big. Yeah.
X-Men. Like they don't have like the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed approach that the Avengers do, because they're just like, no, this is mutant shit. Like sometimes you have to put down your own people. We've lost people, we've sacrificed, and this is what we have to do. Whereas the Avengers are very much like, but she's an Avenger. The Avengers could never kill another Avenger. Whereas Professor X is like, I will fry that bitch's brain. You know,
Yeah,
like
I gotta do what I gotta do.
very different.
Shut up,
approaches
Captain.
to it. Like we've already suffered the greatest tragedy of our time. Like we will 100% ice one of our own. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's fun. It's a good game. My only complaint about Midnight Suns is that it's too long. Which is a weird complaint, but
it is a little long.
70 to 90
That's
hour
my complaint
game.
with a lot of games, though.
Yeah.
I stand by the fact I've still never seen the end of Skyrim. I don't know what I couldn't tell you how that game ends.
I
beat
started
it.
working on that last year. I'm gonna try to finish it this year, but I have also never seen the end of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Some games be too long.
It's true.
And there's so much
Yeah.
to do, and the things I want to do are not conducive with
Have,
story
like-
progression.
I feel so bad saying this because I like the stuff that they've done, like with all these secrets and stuff, but sometimes it gets a little Fallout 4, where it just feels like it's so much to manage. Like, and I felt that
What,
way with
Skyrim?
the settlements in Fallout 4. No, in Midnight Suns, where I'm like,
yeah.
I have to find these secrets, I have to collect components, I have to do all of this, but I
You
also
can,
really just want to play the missions.
You can. I have finished all of the stuff in the Abbey, and I'm
There's an end to it? Thank
Yeah.
God.
yeah, I'm 35 hours in, and so I finished all the stuff. There's also
You say
3.
that like, oh well, that's just 35 hours.
Well, there's 3 acts, and I just finished the first act, and like I'm at 33 hours ish, 35 hours.
But that does go to show you
Story
kind of
wise,
the
it's like a
open
big
nature of
deal
the Abbey.
too. Like there's a giant like the act ending is a significant moment for the characters and for the game for sure, which is cool.
Interesting.
Like the story starts to ramp up and get pretty crazy.
You mean it's not just like a certain furry character in the shadows being like, these guys are trouble.
Oh,
I
I mean,
report
they're
back to mother.
yeah, that's certain.
I love when
furry
the Hydra
character
guys are
pops
like,
up.
or mother. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yeah. And I don't
I'm
even
a
know what
mother
happens
boy.
in the back half of the game. I've been told it gets even more absurd.
Which
but-
makes me want to play it more, but also like
Yeah.
there's it's so long.
It's very long. Yeah.
It's like
Well-
Persona 5. I feel like such a hack saying Persona 5 was one of my favorite games of all time when I haven't beaten it. But the thing is, I truly love it. I love the music. I
I've
love
beaten
the
that
art.
game
I love the
twice
story. I love the
ish.
characters. But it's so long.
Y'all got to talk about. I spent 150 hours or 128, I think, is what it was in Persona
On
5
stream?
Royale. Yeah, I streamed the whole thing. It's
And you had a channel at the end of it? I don't think I would have a channel at the end of that.
yeah.
think
Look, it
people
was
would tap
easy.
out.
Those were easy. because like you know what you're doing on stream, right? Like there's no,
Yeah.
you just start the stream and guys, we're going to play Persona 5 Royale for 8 hours today. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, you know how it's going to go.
I almost killed my channel because I did that with Yakuza.
Yeah.
I maxed out
it's-
the bikini wrestling mini games, slot cars. I was doing everything. And by the end of it, I was like, I remember when I used to have 200 plus viewers. Now I have 111. And I probably
Midnight Suns is kind of the same way because it's not the greatest viewership and it's super long
to watch.
But I will say the people
yeah.
that do watch in that category are very dedicated and will like.
Yeah.
They're excited to be in the channel, which is nice. They're not just like
I got rated by a
zombie
bunch. I was
walkers.
playing the other day. Got rated by a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Dan rated me. Like all these people. Like people love the XCOM-y card gamey vibe.
Yeah.
Like they get, if you're in it, you're in it. You know.
It's true. Are you guys?
I think it's funny because those are the longest streams I've ever had were XCOM 2 and Total War.
Yeah.
Like I've streamed like
Total
19
War is-
hours
Talk about
of Total War in a sitting and like looked at myself in the stream monitor and been like, who is she? Like my eyes are bloodshot. I have dark
Nurgle.
circles and I'm just like, one more turn.
Yeah.
Guys, after this turn, I swear I'll go to bed. Guys, after
I-
this turn, I swear I'll go to bed.
Have any of you ever completed like an Immortal Empires map?
No, I don't. I'm not even starting it because I know what that entails.
The only time I've ever done it is I did the mission objectives of the like the Tomb Kings, whatever they're called.
Oh,
no, the Egypt guys.
Yes,
I did the mission objectives, and that one was easy because it's literally just like it was pretty simple. It was like collect all the pieces.
They're
And so
insane.
it's the only time. Any other time, it's like 500
Listen,
hours later. I'm like,
Total War is the
won't end.
only game that makes me understand why people chain smoke. Because at any point it will turn, right? Like you have one battle that goes bad and you're like, I was on top of the world, but I just lost 75% of my army and now I've got the dwarves on one border. I got these fucking humans on the other goddamn border.
True.
And I'm not fighty enough apparently, so now half my orcs are rebelling against me. We had this in the bag, chat. We don't have it in the bag anymore on turn 385. I don't know what's going to happen. We might be able to come back from this, but I don't know. And then you slowly die
That's
over
an
the
addict
next
right
4
there.
hours.
Yeah.
It's not even
That's-
fast. You just slowly die over the next 4
you
hours.
think you can win. You like
But
just
you
watch the one battle go my way.
Jesse, you always think you're like, I can come back from this. I can come back from this. All I got to do is I got to get a wog going. If I can get a wog going, my
It's
army size will double.
gambling. It is literal
And
gambling.
I can come back from this. I can come back from this. You know?
Oh,
I just need one more. I just need one more. And just
And the same thing happening with me with Three Kingdoms. And this tells you my folly. I made a fucking pact with Cao Cao. Cao Cao is
You're a
an
fool.
honorless cunt. So
You're a
he's
fool.
like, he betrays me with my own army.
Nice.
And they all defect. And I was like, ugh.
Nice.
You're a fool.
You got
you don't do that.
Cao Cao.
Yeah.
Unless you're
You
Sima Yi, in which
man.
case always ally with Cao Cao because you can use him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was using him, Jesse. He was using me.
He's using these all.
That's why you gotta go green.
all
You gotta go shoe all the way. Get your 3 brothers, put them out in the battlefield, and always win for the
Oh,
people.
man.
There you go. All right, let's bring it back to the MCU.
If
What
there
if
was an
Dynasty Warriors
MCU
was an
Total
MCU
War game,
property? Yeah.
I would. Oh man, I would be all
Think-
over that.
Think about Dynasty Warriors MCU. Think about Marvel's Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, I'm sure Koei Tecmo has already pitched that to Disney multiple times. You
Tony
know
Stark
they've
on the
already
battlefield
pitched
killing
that.
1,000 guys, but it's set in ancient China still.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Think about it.
That'd
Think
be dope.
about it.
I'd be into
They're all
it.
like, "Oh, it's Tony Stark." You wouldn't have to change anything. You wouldn't have to change the movesets at all. Just literally just reskin like Zhao Yu and have it be Tony Stark. And just have him like murder. I'm putting it out there. It would be one of the best games ever made.
Could be. Could be.
Guan Yu versus Captain America. Fight!
It would work. I mean, Captain America just throw his shield and kill like
Yeah.
30, 40 dudes.
That's already a game
It
mechanic in
would.
there.
Yeah.
Just throw it and it bounces
mean,
off like 100
after
guys.
seeing-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, after seeing the Zelda one, Hyrule Warriors wasn't bad.
It's great.
I think
It's
they
fun.
could do a Disney one.
I listened to Gerard talk about Hyrule Warriors and how long he played that game. and
That's
I don't
because
want to hear
Hyrule
anything.
I watched
Warriors
him play
was
it for a
pretty
year and a half.
fun.
Gerard
it's
put,
super-
I think, 300 hours into that game. So
Oh, I'm aware. I was in the room
Yeah.
when he was like, we hung out, and by hang out it was watch Jesse
Let's
watch
watch-
Gerard
yeah,
play.
yeah.
That
if
sucked.
you want to hear the full story, I think
That
that's on
sucked.
Drop Frames
Jesse's
with
like,
Gerard.
that was the darkest part of my life.
It's real stupid the stuff he had to do for that.
Because
it's
it's
a
not
crazy
like-
tale.
Dynasty Warriors games at a certain point are like, oh, it's fun. We did this. I killed 1,000 guys. That was fun. But then it's like, if you want to get the completion thing, you need to level up
Yeah.
everyone's weapon to 99. And that's just like, now spend the next 1,200 hours grinding. Zero fun.
It was more
Just
than 300.
grinding.
You're right. Yeah. It just goes to
I
the
know
drop
some
frame things.
people. I know some people enjoy that, but like that's why I've never beaten all the weapons in Final Fantasy VII, like the
Sure.
Emerald weapon.
All right,
like,
going
for
back to
me-
the MCU. I can't with
That's
you
why
two.
I've
It's
spent-
fucking impossible.
A ton of hours on Marvel's Midnight Suns.
There you go.
Marvel's Midnight Sun.
We're done talking about that, though. We're moving on. 'Cause I don't know how to tell you. Did you, by the way, did you see all those things on TikTok, Jesse? Now that I'm thinking about this, I forgot about it.
Oh, no.
There was
No,
the
no,
there was
no,
the
no,
TikToks.
no.
Yes, that they were taking. They were using that, of course. I think it started with tweets where people are talking about what Thunderbolts might be. Have you seen all this shit?
I did see everyone. The reason why I know this is because every human being on planet Earth
Linked it to
messaged
you?
me to tell me
There's
that
a lot.
apparently in Thunderbolts, the plot
Yeah.
is revolving around the fact that everyone in the world is trying to get to that big statue man and
Get those
I
resources.
Guess get the resources from the big statue man, which frankly, I'm here for it. If that's what the plot is,
Well, it's also
Top damn
the other part is that it's where mutants have decided to take up home.
they did. People said that,
But this is all like
I'm not willing to
massive
go that
rumors.
far yet.
Yeah.
Because that
Yeah.
seems like fan fiction. Like
It
it's
does.
like, oh yeah, there's gonna be
It
like
makes sense though, but 100%. It seems kind of
Yeah.
far.
I think the trying to get mine resources from it makes infinite sense, given that's the entire premise of Nowhere,
right.
Right.
Yeah.
right? Like it's an entire city based off of the economy of extracting the valuable fluids from this fucking head.
From this
And now we have an
celestial, yeah.
entire torso in the ocean. Like,
You got a whole body.
why wouldn't an entire economy or city burgeon off of that? Like, it's the exact same situation.
Yeah.
But if that is the case, again, let me restate. There needs to be something somewhere where someone's like, ocean levels have risen dramatically.
No, we're not going to get into the
because-
physics of it, Jesse.
That is the poor people of India, all the South Pacific.
Jesse, this is the
It
MCU.
would be
We're not.
flooding everywhere. It'd be-
What are you talking about, India? It
What
doesn't
gets
exist
me-
in the MCU. What are you talking about?
What gets me is the size of it. Because, like,
So big.
Nowhere's essentially a small planet, right? A small
Mhm.
planet emerged out of the Earth's mantle.
Yeah.
Like, the hand is almost reaching the sky. Like, it's like
Oh, it's in the atmosphere.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
atmosphere. Yeah. So there's a part of me that's like, y'all made that thing huge.
It's big.
You made it truly huge.
Yeah.
Like,
that is
this
the damage
would
caused by
blot
that is
out
worse
the
than anything
the
Thanos
sun in
did.
some places. Huh?
Thanos just disappeared people. This thing just
Caused
it cracked the
irrevocable
planet.
damage. Yeah.
Like it, we would. there
And
would be-
Namor didn't even react to it.
Didn't
Namor wasn't even
mention
like,
it.
our people have been displaced by this thing.
He was
Namor was
interested.
like-
He was hanging out with Shuri.
There was a dude in the
okay?
ocean?
He was hanging out
well,
with Shuri.
to be honest, he's hanging out near Mexico, and she and this Titan thing is in the Indian Ocean. So
Mm.
one Pacific, one is Atlantic.
Yeah, but you got to
those
think
don't
like
connect.
you got to think like Dory or someone showed up and was like, "Namor, you got to come help us. There's the whole ocean is fucked right now because there's a giant
They
man
don't
in the
care.
ocean."
They only care about their one little section. Their one
I
little
was gonna
clearly.
say, isn't Namor like the lord of like isn't he like
The underwater-
Poseidon, like all
Yeah,
the
he
ocean?
can talk to
Or is he
fish.
like, yeah, or is he like, no, sorry, the Indian Ocean? I don't go there.
Yeah.
That's not my territory. I don't. You know what? He's very much about territory. He doesn't want you coming in his place, and he's not gonna mess with you.
Yeah.
But like, it's canonical, y'all.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, Phase 5, it's here. February 17th, it'll start with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. At least for this year. We can talk 2024 as well if you guys want to, but we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and then The Marvels. Those are the 3 films slated for this year.
So we have.
Then we also got TV shows as well, which I can read off.
No, the TV shows are going to be. We
got a lot of TV
Loki
shows.
2. There's only 3 this year.
No, we got 6.
What if 3 main ones?
What If Season 2 supposed to be soon?
All right, that's not a main one.
Secret Invasion Season 1.
That's a main
supposed to be
one.
soon. Loki Season 2.
Main one.
Ironheart Season 1.
Main one.
Echo, although I believe it's been delayed severely.
Echo's delayed till next year. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Agatha, Covenant of Chaos is supposed to also happen this year.
I think that's delayed till next year too.
Yeah. We'll see.
So,
I mean,
we only know we're getting 3. And based on what we have Loki, which is Kangverse, and we have Ant-Man, which is Kangverse.
Yep.
And then Secret Wars, which is space.
Secret Invasion.
Guardians and Marvel's space. So we have 2 separate things. And I don't know if the space stuff is going to be related to what's going on with Kang. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this year.
Might be,
I think they need to split it.
Yeah.
They need to fucking split it.
Kang's not going to be like, I've got to stop the Guardians.
Yeah, no. They need to split it. We have way too many characters. We need to do what the comic books did, which is this is cosmic Marvel and this is terrestrial Marvel.
Well,
they just need to split it.
The Beyonder is cosmic, right? Like cosmic Marvel. Yeah, so they'll probably do the Beyonder with the Guardians-ish. To be honest, though, I don't know what Guardians is going to.
Guardians seems like a simple story. Guardians.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be
looks like it's going to be dealing with the
introduction thing.
Who's the dude who made
not the I know what
Rocket.
God damn it.
The genocider.
High evolutionary. High evolutionary.
High evolutionary.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of it too. The genocider.
That's a good villain name.
That's the worst thing. The genocider.
But it's probably gonna be the High Evolutionary's the villain, but the anti-hero is going to be our golden boy, and they're gonna have to deal with him coming after
Adam
them
Warlock?
the entire time. Yeah, and then at the end, Adam Warlock's gonna be like, "Oh, damn, I am a hero," and then he's gonna be part of the Guardians moving forward, right? Because that's
or whatever. I mean,
whatever.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do we see another film entitled Guardians of the Galaxy after this?
No, but
I think
we will
it's done,
see the
right?
Guardians of the Galaxy similar to the new Avengers or whatever. It's gonna be maybe Nebula and Adam Warlock and maybe Groot still, but that it'll be a different group. There'll be a few old ones in there.
Yeah,
it'll be different, and then they'll show up in other movies. They'll be like, "We're here to do a thing." They won't. I don't think we're gonna get another Guardians movie.
We're not gonna see Guardians of the Galaxy 4, is what I'm asking. Does that title?
I think we're gonna be done with. I mean, Drax is done. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have Rocket done. I'm pretty sure that Peter Quill's done. They might have a sunset Peter Quill Gamora moment.
Yeah,
I think that's.
I think Peter Quill's gonna come back. I don't think they're gonna get rid of him.
You think he's got too much star power and they don't have much right now in the greater
I
MCU?
don't understand why Chris Pratt gets everything because I don't see it. I don't.
I mean, the money's there, I guess. Yeah,
but that's what I mean. He's one of the biggest names they have. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he would go anywhere either. I don't think the actor's fuck Marvel.
Yeah, I think he enjoys it. Yeah.
I think I just don't see them parting ways. It's crazy because I used to love Chris Pratt back in the Parks and Rec days. I just adored him, and then I don't know. Lately, it's he kind of plays himself and everything. So I'm burnt out on the Pratt.
Sure, that happens.
You can only see him put his hand up to Raptors so many times.
Yeah, no, that's the meme. That's where he's at. I agree.
But that's Hollywood's biggest problem is they will pick a star and then burn them out with the audience. And you know what?
But then they take a break and they come back, right?
That was me with Scarlett Johansson. And then I saw her in Jojo Rabbit, and I was like,
charming.
She didn't. she was
Yeah.
in so many stupid movies with stupid roles that I forgot, like, oh, she can be this actual, like, really, like, it
Yep.
was a very, like, cute performance. For a Nazi movie, a very sad movie, but, like, she comes off as, like, I'm like, "Oh, she's played a stone cold bitch in, like, 30 movies," to where I thought that's all she could do and that's who she was.
Yeah.
Until I
Yeah.
saw her in Jojo Rabbit, and I was like, "Oh, no, she can do, like, other things other than being a Russian spy. She can do it."
It's a huge problem because and it's same with like voice acting or whatever. You pick like an actor and they do that one thing and they're doing that for 20 years and you're just burnt out. And you know what? I didn't think it'd happen, but it's starting to happen even to The Rock. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
people
yeah.
that you see
Yeah.
everywhere, and people are like, "I'm over it."
Well, after
Look,
his superhero stint, there's definitely a turn on the Rock right now with the whole
yeah,
DC
for sure.
thing. Yeah.
But I think it's
the
everyone has
smartest
their
people, like, almost, like, back off a little bit. I think this is why people are not like, tired of Tom Cruise. Like, when they did start getting tired of him after jumping on Oprah's couch and stuff, I feel like he fell back a
right.
little bit,
Yeah.
and now people are, like, back on the Tom Cruise train. But I think that's what you have to do is, like, kinda be like, "I'm gonna take a little bit of a
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
Mhm.
stay out of the news for a while," and then when they come back and they're like, "I
I'm
hope to
back.
see you in movie theaters. I'm gonna jump out of a plane. Go watch the newest Mission Impossible." You're like, "Oh, Tom Cruise, you crazy motherfucker." You know? Like, it almost becomes, like, endearing again.
Right.
It's true. So out of the three films then, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Marvels, and Ant-Man, are you guys both Guardians? Is that your film of
No,
choice
I'm
of
more
those?
excited for Ant-Man. I want more
Yeah?
Kang.
Oh, okay. You're all
I
in on
wanna-
Kang.
If Kang's gonna be our guy, I want more Kang.
I can't
and
believe
frankly,
the words you just said. I'm more excited for Ant-Man. Jesse Cox, 2023, new Jesse.
Look, Ant-Man 1, I loved Ant-Man 1. Ant-Man 2, I fell asleep. It's not my fault I fell asleep. It just was boring. I'm sorry.
It's not at all. It's great.
I can't if you're an old man, Jesse. What are we
I've never fallen asleep
Maybe
in
you
any
were
movie
just
before.
tired that
period.
day.
No, I've never fallen asleep.
Ant-Man 2
just
was not that
bored
bad.
me.
It was not. Did you fall asleep during Eternals?
No, because I was hoping
Because
it would
Eternals
like
is
the entire time
infinitely
I was
more boring than Ant-Man 2. So we cannot base.
agreed. But I was like, I had a hope. Like Ant-Man 2, once I knew what to expect, I think I was lulled into like Eternals. I was the entire time waiting for a plot to happen. I was like, when are we going to get to the story
That's
of what
kind
this movie's
of
about?
yeah, it's kind of fair.
And I couldn't. I was like waiting for it to happen. And each next spectacle and each next time period, I was like, okay,
All right, I'll respect
this
it
is
then.
when
I think
it's going to make sense.
I'll respect it then. Because for me, I'm like, the fact that you fell asleep during Ant-Man 2 and not Eternals, which was longer, I believe, and way more boring, I'm like, we cannot start. But if that's your reasoning, that you were like, okay, this is a little better.
I couldn't figure out what the trailer made me think there was going to be a villain. I'm not even sure there was a villain really in that movie.
The villain was
like,
Superman. You know?
Was he? He
threw himself into the sun as a play on words about being Icarus.
His name was Icarus, you know? He flew too close.
No, he flew directly into it.
To the sun. He flew too close to the sun.
The tales won't tell you is that Icarus flew directly into the sun. Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know what's even dumber is that technically there's like 800 Icaruses. So like it doesn't even matter.
Oh, that's right. You know, I forgot the whole thing where they
regenerate.
they regenerate or they regrow and I forgot about. Fuck,
So,
I forgot.
Really,
it doesn't mean anything. He just killed
himself. You know
himself.
what we should do? Maybe we should rewatch Eternals on stream one day.
No, stop.
I can't.
No,
that'd be a fun hate watch. That'd be a fun hate watch.
Let me just remind you, there's a scene in the movie where it's like ancient Babylon, maybe like Mesopotamia. And dude is like, almost time. Like, any of them have any clue what a wristwatch is? Like, that kind of thing? When I watch it, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this right now.
You just start shaking. Maybe that's a 2023
like about to have a nosebleed.
Might happen.
Yeah, my head just explodes.
Yeah, I'm excited for King. I think that'll be fun in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Well, because, like, Guardians feels like the wrap-up of a thing, not the beginning of something new. And the Marvels is like, okay, I have no idea what this is going to be.
I'm so anxious about that movie Not because
Yeah,
I think the movie's going to be not, and it's not because of the movie. It's because of the conversation around the Marvels. Like, I'm already tired of that conversation, and it hasn't even begun. Right? Like, it's going to be
what
just
sucks?
obnoxious.
You know for a fact that in the run up to that movie, this is my Jesse Cox prediction for 2023.
Okay.
In the months leading up to that movie, I'm gonna have to
In July.
mute
That's the summer movie, by the way, for Marvel. Is the Marvels.
I'm gonna have to mute so many. Like when I go to YouTube, my front page, because I look up Marvel stuff all the time. I'm gonna have to mute and block so many videos that are like, here's the thumbnail. Brie Larson looking angry. That like meme of like the angry woman, like, ah! And then like, why the Marvels is propaganda for woke culture. And I'll have to sit there and just delete.
Guys, sometimes it's not propaganda. Sometimes it's just not good. Like,
it makes me so upset. And they're gonna use the same. It's gonna be months of that shit. I'm gonna be like,
yeah, it's gonna be obnoxious.
Is like, I remember. Okay, so going into the Captain Marvel movie, Captain Marvel was one of my favorite characters from the comics. It was very devoted, right? And so I went in with the highest expectations and was like, not for me. And the internet discourse made me think about like just quitting being, because I was on a different comic book podcast at that time.
Yeah.
I remember being like, maybe I should retire from the internet, because there were people that were like, if you don't like it, clearly you hate women, and just say that. And I'm like, okay, you're psycho. And then on the other side, I would be like, it wasn't for me. I didn't feel, it tied into the character, and that's not the Carol Danvers I was expecting. And even though it was a different version of that, the human element was kind of missing. I wanted to see her struggle and kind of like root for the underdog and see her come into her power. We didn't get that journey. And so I didn't like it. And people were like, exactly, because she's a Mary Sue that does everything well. She's clearly not the most powerful person. You agree. Marvel is just trying to make women more powerful than men and is a giant woke agenda. And that's why the movie sucked. And I'm like, no, because you're psycho too. And I don't agree with you either.
Yeah, the conversation.
And I was like, where are the normal people at?
It's just exhausting.
If you don't like Captain Marvel, I don't think you hate women. But if you if you dislike it, but if you like it, I also don't think that you're a woke propagandist. I'm just like, I don't.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be a lot.
Like, here's
guys.
the thing:
it's gonna be a lot.
The movie wasn't great. It like wasn't a great movie, but it doesn't mean that like it's a political statement. It was literally just.
It just wasn't good.
It wasn't a good movie. Yeah, like
sure.
That's
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It just didn't have an arc.
Yeah.
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 That's it. And I don't think
she
that
did some cool shit though, like action wise. I like the action shit she did, but apart from that, it didn't have an arc.
Like the reason
my favorite part of that movie was Samuel L. Jackson. That tells
great.
you everything
and
you
that
need
damn
to know
cat.
about that movie.
Yeah, the cat was cool too. The Flurbin or whatever.
I liked Mendelsohn.
Mendelssohn's good too.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was good. But yeah, the story of what it wasn't really a story. It was like, and these are things that happened this day.
Yeah, Goose.
Like there was no arc. There was really no growth. She kind of had her shit figured out already, and she just needed to know her name. That was like the story was like, what's my name? That's it. Like, okay, cool. I guess.
Yeah.
So do I want them to do something good? Yes. Would I love it if they did something? Would I love it if these three characters, who two of which have been very divisive, would I love it if this movie came out and nailed it and kicked ass? Hell yes. I'd be so happy.
Well, the setup is that they swapped places and now Miss Marvel is dying in space of asphyxiation, right? Like that's what we're
That's what you got out of the end of Miss Marvel? That she's dead
they
in
did
space?
switch places.
Yeah, they've killed off Miss Marvel.
Oh, God.
And Brie got a haircut. That's what I took from the end of that show. Yeah,
I would love nothing more for than it to be good. If we're only getting 3 movies this year, I want 3 good movies. I don't want to see a thing. I don't want to have to come back to this podcast and be like, first half was amazing, but the last half sucked ass. I don't want to have to do that anymore. I'm like, please, let's never go back there.
Good. I might keep it a buck. I don't think it's gonna be good.
You don't think the Marvels is gonna be good?
Don't you put that voodoo on me. I don't want this. I want it to be, we get 3 movies. 3.
They're not set up for success because when you build something on a rocky foundation, is hard to, you know, it's hard to fix it.
Admittedly, if this movie isn't a success, we will not get another Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. We will get none of that. Photon. We'll get if this isn't successful. I'm telling you.
No, I think we will if it's
I'm-
part of the bigger plan.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm also
They
very
already
curious.
changed the bigger plan once.
I'm very curious to see what Miss Marvel looks like on like the big screen, in the sense of how her powers look and like CG looks. Because Bronze, and all three of us, when we watched that show, that last episode, that shit looks stupid. Like, she does not have cool power.
It was like a walking billboard for like, this is why we won't do the Fantastic Four. This is why.
Yeah, like it looks pretty fucking stupid.
All right, I forgot that her powers were her gauntlet things. And now I'm thinking, okay, Kang. Because
it's definitely related.
They can tie that to Shang-Chi's rings.
Yes.
And then all of it you know what?
I think we'll get a lot of that
Totally
in
fine with
Ant-Man.
that.
Like that, if that's truly what we're seeing in Ant-Man, with the big theory that in that trailer you can see Shang-Chi's gauntlets or bangles. I don't know what you want to call them. The rings, essentially, are what kind of form part of the I think the city or something within the city. That would be interesting if that's where they tie that all in. So that's what I think that's mostly what I want out of these next three films, is to fucking bring it together. Right? Like we got an entire phase of just, here's a ton of shit and there's not really much cohesion, and the stuff that we did have some sort of cohesion for was kind of bullshit. Kind of sucked, and it actually was to the detriment of the rest of the product that you were creating to begin with. And so like I'm hoping that we start to bring it together. I need some cohesion in this. And I only say that because I was watching the original Captain America last night, and every character that showed up in that film, I was like, oh, he shows up in 7 films after this and does X, Y, and Z and A, B. He shows up literally as like you could point to so many different things in that film that just show up 10 or 15 films later, right? And I'm hoping that's what happened with Phase 4, and we start to see that now in Phase 5. But I don't know. I don't know if they got it in them.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of Phase 5. There's a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll, fingers crossed that it's
I'm hoping that patience is the key here, right?
Right.
Because if it's not, fuck.
But also, I'm really excited for Loki. Season 2 of Loki.
I've
never been
season 2 is
so
gonna be very
hyped for
fun.
a show.
Yeah.
Very excited.
There was
exciting.
I want to say there was some sort of rumor about they were going to go into like how the TVA has power, or what like the power source is for the TVA, and that's going to feed into Loki's power set, and like he's going to like level up essentially in what he can do. Which
that's fine.
Cool.
I'm always a big fan of like when something's a mystery, sometimes keep it a mystery. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we don't need to know about midichlorians, right? Like in this case, maybe I don't want to know all of the backstory of the TVA. Like I like that it's we have one of the Kangs who made it. And that's all you need to know.
Hogwarts work. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like I don't need to know how the wizards went to the bathroom at Hogwarts. Like I don't need to know that. But I guess now I do, and that's in my brain forever. So
yeah. Could be the case. Looking at the TV shows, are you guys excited for What If? I think that's the first thing we're gonna get.
I mean, I'll watch it. I'm sure I'll enjoy a few episodes, but like I've said before, most of What If isn't like, it's like it's a fun throwaway thing, and it's throwaway content is what most of it is.
Yeah.
So
very excited for.
Like it's short.
If
you don't like it, it's just like.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, what about the TV shows? We were just talking about Loki. Sorry.
I like how they connected it all together for a big story in the end. And
that was cool.
It was like, oh, yeah, those last 2 episodes were great. I enjoyed those.
I wonder if we'll follow like them, like that, those people around in the multiverse. right? Like the Agent Carter and everyone else that was in the end of that. If it's going to follow them or if it's just going to be another set of like what if stuff.
Probably another set that will lead to another story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like something different. But admittedly, could be fun if they stick with like the right characters
and just hop around like the multiverse, cleaning up multiversal problems. Yeah,
Like I would love it if they had I don't know, just some sort of what if about the witches,
well,
like an Agatha or a Wanda,
sure.
like that kind of thing would be interesting.
If you think about it, they compared to the first season of What If, they have a lot more that they could potentially play with. Like we could see Professor X or like, we could really see anything show up in What If ultimately.
I mean, and they don't have to, they can retread old stuff. So it's like, okay, what if different characters were snapped?
Yeah.
And so what happens after that? If it's different, like, oh yeah, we don't have a Captain Marvel. So how do we get to Thanos and defeat Thanos to save the world again? That kind of thing. We
Could
can't
be the
get to
case.
space.
Yeah.
We just deal with it. That'd be interesting.
I would assume we'll start to get release dates here pretty soon for that. Secret Invasion is also supposed to be early 2023, but I think that's going to be like late spring. And then summer will be Loki.
Thing.
Yeah, summer will be Loki. The other two shows, Echo's already been, I think, all but confirmed for 2024. But Echo and Ironheart are two shows where it's like, do we need those? Like, do we want to?
Ironheart's
got some weird premise too. It's supernatural shit.
Yeah, Ironheart's synopsis is straight up just like, while at MIT, super genius inventor deals with being super genius inventor. And it's like,
but also
okay.
Mephisto and Red Hood, right? Or not Red Hood, the Hood. Sorry. Like they're going supernatural with that shit. Which is wild to consider because like why? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
She's so tech driven. I don't know.
I want to see the Agatha show. That's what I want.
People are burnt out on that like that bit they keep doing because we're talking about like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, right?
What do you mean? What bit?
I don't know what it is with like writers, but they've done this like 3 times where they're like, Shuri is the smartest person in Marvel, even smarter than Bruce Banner, and then they're like, oh, Moon Girl is smarter. The smartest person, at least in the comic books. That's like a whole thing where it's like, she's smarter than everybody, and she's only a little girl, and she's smarter than Bruce Banner. And then it's like, oh, but Riri is the smart. And I'm like, okay, so like, why does that keep being?
Why does Marvel keep bringing that up? Yeah.
Why does that keep being like their only personality trait is like, they're smarter than Bruce Banner? I'm like, y'all have to start building a character out of more than just like smarter than Bruce Banner. Like we're gonna need something that's like more interesting than that, because at this point it's become a fucking trope.
I think to play devil's advocate, the reason that is there is because then 1 billion people will make content out of that. Right? And then that
But is it the type of attention you want? Is it
in Marvel's in attention for money. And any attention is good attention because that means more money. Right? But I totally agree with you.
It becomes like the only thing we talk about those characters is like, she's not smart. Oh, it's like, God.
Well,
you didn't even get like a fair shake. It's
the same audience that then is like, well, if she's so smart, then why didn't she build a blah 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 to do blippity bloppity? Right? Like that's the exhausting part of that conversation. I'm in agreement with you there. So I think like
being hyper intelligent is like the least interesting thing about a character,
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of smart characters, but Hank McCoy isn't my favorite because he's theoretically he could be. No, it's just because he's Beast.
Beast is cool because it's Frasier in the MCU.
Yeah. Well, even in the animated series, I was like, it's the little things where he's like, I'm not gonna bust out because I'm here to make a point. I'm like, oh, God bless you, you big furry little soft boy,
Yeah.
Look at the guy reading animal form. It's an animal reading animal form, and he's like, well, actually, and I'm like, yeah, Beast. And I think those things are like so much more interesting than like, this character is the smart. This character is the smartest, and you're just like, But Amadeus Cho said that this character is the smartest, and Amadeus Cho was the smartest because he was smarter than. And I'm like, guys, please stop.
Gotta love that whole combo. Yeah.
It's literally a thing where like Amadeus Cho, the new Hulk, was declared smarter than everybody else, but he declared that this character is smarter than everybody else. So now that's the new. And I'm like, how do you even measure? Who's sitting there testing these guys in the
I don't know why you watch
IQ.
that. You got to just not watch that content. You got to not feed that out.
I'm not watching that content. That's what reading the books is like.
Oh,
JP. It'll literally be like
okay.
proclaimed as the most intelligent Avenger by Amadeus Cho, who is the previous most intelligent Avenger. And you're like, who wrote this? If you can be a writer, I definitely know I can, because you're smoking crack. You must be smoking crack while you're writing this shit. Like, and so that's the part I get frustrated by. Like, if a character's smart, you don't have to write that they're smart. Just do just write something interesting and let us fall in love with that. Because no one's gonna be like, Riri is my favorite character because she's the smartest character in the MCU.
Some people think like that though, in like a
cares.
really terrible way. Some people think like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very like Yu-Gi-Oh lifestyle that they live.
Yeah.
Everything's power levels. It's like Dragon Ball Z, right? Like, was power level? Like, okay, all right,
True.
okay,
True. Secret Invasion. Have we taught? Like, do we have any? Where are you guys hype levels? I'm very interested in like a scroll infiltration, but I was thinking that was going to span a like phase, not be self-contained in a TV series.
Well, here's the thing: we don't know what this because the scrolls are different in the MCU.
They're a little different.
We don't know what the Secret Invasion plot is, right? In the comics, it's a huge, big thing where like even some of your favorite superheroes are scrolls. This is just like, we don't know. I have no idea what this is actually going to be about.
Do you think they do anything big? And like, do we learn any superheroes that exist right now are just scrolls? Does that happen?
If it's a TV show, no.
You don't. That's true. Like you don't. They're not going to do anything crazy like that.
They might do something where a scroll pretends to be a superhero for that show, but the superhero's still out there, like doing a thing.
Yeah.
And then it's resolved within the show. And then if you didn't watch the show, you're still fine not knowing that plot. But like, they're not going to be like, actually, the entire time that you've been enjoying this, that favorite hero of yours, scroll.
They could also do soft reveal, like Darkeros in my chat just said. They could do soft reveal in show and then hard reveal in movie. I don't know who that is though. In the same year that Ant-Man and the Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Marvels come out, right? Like those are all. I don't know of those characters who could be a scroll.
Who do they need to recast?
True. Yeah. I mean, there's also Captain America and New World next May, which could maybe have some scroll stuff, but
they're not going to make my two boys scrolls. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Now they could do like a Maria Hill was a scroll.
Well, they kind of already did that
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they already did that in a previous movie where it was like, oh, yeah, no, we've been scrolls.
Yeah,
that's because they were on a different...
They could even do like, oh, this person was snapped and then they came back, but what came back was a scroll.
True. That might be how they handle it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be like, oh, during the snap, basically this person switched or...
I hope that if they do anything like that, it's actually a like proper thriller. And not just they don't like they don't Marvel it up, which is a big ask for Marvel to not Marvel it up.
I think it would be dope to have a superhero be like, "Oh gosh, I haven't seen you guys in years," and have everyone be like, "You've been here the whole time," and that's how they figure out there's a scroll. Like it would be dope, like in that 3-year period, if like. Oh yeah, this person was a scroll the whole time, and like this person got snapped, and we thought they didn't get snapped or whatever, you know.
The other thing that I have hope for to kind of be a more macro lens conversation, is after seeing how well and how successful something like Andor was, when I thought that like something good something of that level would never come out of that universe ever again.
Right.
I really want to see that level brought to the MCU. Like that would be phenomenal if we could somehow get that.
But
I just don't know what it would be.
Legend has it, the reason we got that show is because all the executives were tied up trying to get their hands into Obi-Wan. And so no one gave a damn about Andor, which is why they let the creatives make it, and that's why it was so good.
Well,
so
yeah,
that worries me about Marvel because everyone wants a piece of everything Marvel.
The sad aspect is, I bet you Obi-Wan probably garnered more Disney Plus subs than Andor.
Yes. Oh, yes. It definitely did.
So
Andor was the least watched one of them, and it is by far the best.
Yeah.
I also think, like, I feel like creatives tend to go crazy when they're like, we can't believe Disney let us do this. And it's like, is that a good thing? Like, that's how I felt towards the end of She-Hulk, where I started out really liking it. And they're like, we were like, Disney's gonna let us like do this Kevin robot and we're gonna spend our entire finale. Like, I can't believe Disney let us do it. I was like, girl, maybe Disney shouldn't have, because that shit fucking was ass. Like, you had a great show and that's how you fucking spent your finale, was like circle jerking yourselves with this fucking Kevin robot.
Yeah.
Like, and I truly feel like the reason they went all in on that was like, I can't believe Disney let us do this. Clearly we have to ride this into the ground. And for me, I was just like, you had such a good show. And then the last episode was just so like lackluster. Just because you can do something doesn't mean I think you always should. And I feel like that's been a trend where I can't believe Disney let us do it. And then they do something like really stupid. And you're like, maybe Disney shouldn't have let you do it. Or maybe you were so blinded by the fact that you could get away with it, you didn't think about like, is this actually a good narrative direction? You know?
That's always a concern. But so there is people are putting lists together of who they think are going to be Skrulls. And none of it's exciting. Like, none of it's too exciting, but it is like the number one on the list, Maria Hill, was always a Skrull. That's why she was there, and that's how Sam Jackson got, like, Nick Fury got in with the Skrulls, is because she was always a Skrull. Is that one? Coulson going back, Skrull. Maybe he was a Skrull the entire time. But that seems like a stretch.
I mean, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of, that would be a stretch.
Yeah. Ulysses Claw, but that dude's dead, so don't care. Everett Ross being don't care. Sharon Carter being a Skrull, don't care. But this one is even more interesting in the based on the last 24 hours, Hawkeye being a Skrull.
It would make sense, like, why Hawkeye was, able to do what he did while being a normal human. But
that'd be interesting. But he also has a family, so I don't know. Like I said, the top 6 ones that people are predicting, only Maria Hill seems like an interesting choice. Everyone else is kind of like, all right. But Sharon Carter being a Skrull is interesting, because it makes her character a little bit more interesting. And if she's like an underground kingpin now, having like that threat of like that, it's more interesting than her just being like, I am the evil one who is like against the government. Like, it makes it a little bit more fun.
Man, I loved Sharon Carter until the show. And she was even cool until like halfway through that show, and you're like, fuck, they kind of like, I don't like Sharon Carter anymore. She's kind of lame. She kind of sucks now. But yeah, I don't know. She could be a Skrull. I'd be okay with it.
Like straight out the gate, the cast, like the 4 main actors
for the show.
I'm here for an Amelia Clark, Colby Smulders, Ben Mendelsohn, Samuel Jackson.
Yeah,
movie.
no, the cast is dope. It's great.
Cast, like, that's good. That should be fun.
Yeah. The thing though is that I'm sad that it's just a TV show. I mean, I'm going back to that point. Like, I want the entire MCU, the entire conversation to be like, oh, he's a Skrull, and then people to argue about that shit like they did in the comics. Like that was a fun part of it. I didn't even read the comics at that point, and it was still fun to like get into that conversation or read thoughts on that conversation of like, oh, so and so is a scroll. Oh, Captain America, he's just blah 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 blah. Like that was cool. It's fun to do that type of shit. That's a fun part of a larger conversation, and I just don't think we're gonna get it because it's a show, and a lot of the shows are reserved for like side stories that the people who are going to see the movies don't necessarily need to watch because it doesn't make that big of an impact.
It could set up something for the Marvels, maybe. I don't know. It definitely seems like they ended a movie with the concept of him being like, we're hanging out in space and we're buddies, and then that story ends in a TV show.
Yeah,
which I don't think is very satisfying. Yeah,
no, that's not at all. That's not at all.
But TV shows give you more episodes, which allow you to do more stuff.
Sure. But none of that stuff has stakes most of the time.
Sure.
That we've seen thus far.
Agreed.
I would love if in phase 5 TV shows start to have stakes. Now that, we've got more people with Disney Plus subscriptions, there's a lot more people, in tune with that whole thing. I think I saw this morning that they're putting Wakanda Forever on Disney Plus at the end of the month. Like the 20th maybe of January. So maybe that's going to draw more people in. They're trying to get people into the thing so that they can have more stakes in the shows. But who knows? Who could say? I still want to see what they do. I think my biggest interest is how they handle Miss Marvel in a movie. Because we haven't seen that character in a movie, right?
We haven't seen Photon in a movie either. She was a side character.
True, but we haven't really seen her do anything. Yeah.
Spectrum.
Yeah.
Spectrum. I'm sorry. Spectrum.
I was like, who the hell is Photon? You said it earlier too. I was like, I'm not.
Photon is the rival to the Genocider, and the two of them.
I was so confused. I was like, I when you said it the first time, I was like, I'm not gonna say anything because I probably just can't remember who Photon is. Like,
isn't Photon just another name though for her?
It is. I'm pretty sure it's a character. I think it's a DC character though, isn't it?
I don't honestly.
No, her name is Photon.
Is that a Spectrum?
It's both, I think. It's Monica Rambeau is Spectrum. But oh no, code names are Pulsar, Spectrum. And then like Auntie Monica. Where the fuck are you getting Photon?
She was welcome back to the Avengers under the name Photon.
Got it.
She's been called Photon before.
Okay, yeah, I thought
so I'm not totally crazy. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, within the comics, she's a pretty big deal. So the Marvels might set her up to be a bigger character within the MCU. But.
Oh, sure. But as a she's one of those characters where it's like she was introduced in a way that's like, oh, okay, so you're the side character for Wanda, and now you're going to be in a movie. So I think she even has more to do in this movie than Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel, at least we have like, all right, we know this person.
Well, I mean, look, we all know that film, like I said earlier, is going to be Miss Marvel gets teleported to space and dies of asphyxiation. Like that's how.
Yeah, actually, we got backstory from the first Miss Marvel. She's the kid, so technically we know
she's
enough.
Got a little bit of an origin. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well.
True. Yeah. Be fun to bring Blue Marvel into the Marvels. Get all the Marvels. Well, I don't know much about Blue Marvel other than he's a card that gives +1 to all your other cards in Marvel Snap. What is like his his origin? Adam Brashear. What does he do? Is he he was in the Marines. And he was in the negative reactor. And he bridged the zone between the negative zone.
Oh, the Nor universe? The Nor dimension?
He studied a being called the Infinite.
You guys got on me for a character named the Genocider, but someone named the Infinite exists?
You don't know who the Infinite is? He's a 6-cost 20 power card in Marvel Snap. You can't play a card on the round prior, so you play him on turns.
The Infinite.
Dude, I know I know like 100 motherfucking 50 characters now in Marvel. Only what they do in Marvel Snap. I don't know anything about who the
You know what I
fuck
hate
they
even
are.
more? The Infinite looks like an 80s toy.
He looks dope as hell, but he's also
No, he does not.
He
The
looks
Infinite
dope as hell in like an 80s toy sense.
Okay, yeah, like the top. He has
Like
a
if I was
like
like born in the 80s and I was a kid and I saw that motherfucker as a toy on a Saturday morning cartoon show, I'd be like, that guy's
that guy's
dope
the most
as
vibrant
hell.
looking
That's
hero.
what I would say. Yeah.
He looks like he's designed for kids to be like, wow. He looks amazing, but like, yeah, he's no one. That's ridiculous outfit.
He's kind of silly. Yeah, he's kind of silly. Anyways,
He's designed for kids to go, wow.
Look, this guy right here.
Look at that guy. He's so cool.
You haven't seen this guy? JP, can you stick this in and look at it? This is what this guy looks like.
Where you said who? The Infinite?
Just in the chat there. That's the Infinite.
I know. I can show you what the Infinite. He looks like he does in Marvel Snap.
I can't.
That's exactly what he looks like
looking.
in Marvel Snap.
Wow! I'm gonna do it.
Wow!
Wow!
Look at it.
Wow!
That's his Marvel Snap card right there.
Jesse, I want that power figure. I want that action figure.
Oh, apparently Infinite was created in 2016. Hey, do you know the lore behind?
Good night.
Do you know the lore behind the Infinite, Jesse?
Is he infinite people?
He's an explorer from another universe, and he usually, I think, destroys the universe when he finds them. But they like talked him out of destroying the Marvel units. There's some weird shit.
Wow!
Wow!
Sorry,
Let's see, Infinite.
Look at his. He's an explorer he's a traveler of space, but infinite space.
He's a mysterious being who has tried to access his plane of reality several times. Due to the localized ripples and ruptures in space, which signals his eventual arrival, it has been possible to pinpoint the place where he would appear with roughly a warning of 10 hours. The Infinite's second manifestation happened in 1998 in Machu Picchu and was interrupted by Adam Brashear, Blue Marvel, together with his son Kevin, using an antimatter-powered rig. Were the Infinite capable of materializing at full size, he would destroy the Earth. The Infinite attempted to arrive to the Earth 6 other times in the following decade.
Huge?
Oh, he's fucking stupid big. Yeah.
Stop. That makes his outfit even
He
funnier.
possesses incredible size to the point that he could potentially tear the Earth in half by just landing on it. He was later shrunk down to 6'6" by Giant Man so he could visit Earth safely. That's the stupidest thing.
I love that his whole thing is he's just very big.
Oh my God. Hold on. This is from the comics. Let me show you this, Jesse.
I love that his alias is, because he got shrunk down, instead of being Infinite, he became Macronaut.
There it is. That's from the comics right there. That looks a little bit like Saga in terms of the art style.
Hello, can you understand me? Hello.
So happy. Hello.
He's just happy to be there. His like goofy face.
Okay.
I love his like Close Encounters headpiece. And probably like boop 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 boop. I love it. Everything about this guy is ridiculous.
He's great in Marvel.
Oh, this is a character we need in the MCU.
You like Infinite better than Blackagar Boltigan?
Infinite, at least his name isn't Infantonio Nauticus. Like, at least it isn't that.
Well, they haven't revealed his new name. He's a mysterious being.
Infaminius Nauticomicus.
No, that's
like,
not
no,
right.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's not right.
That'd be like if Iron Man's name was
stupider
like...
than Blackagar Boltagon?
That's what we were
that's
just
what
saying.
I was just asking, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Unless
missed
they say
it.
his
I had
name
to
is
turn my
like
ear off.
Infamonius
Roasted.
Nauticus, I'm out.
Yeah.
But, again, we should just do that for all superheroes. Like Superman, his name was Supremo Manticulum. Right? You got the Iron Man.
Actually, it was Kal-El, Jesse. Okay.
Ironimus.
Have you ever seen the like those memes where people come up with like what celebrities' names are? So like Cardi B was Cardigan Backyardigan.
That's so
That's
stupid.
what it sounds like you're doing right now. Like
That's
it was
Jesse's MO. That's what he's doing. Yeah.
like everyone's like, what does Cardi B stand for? Like at one point, if you Googled it, it would say Cardi B stands for cardigan backyardigan. It was like,
It's correct. That's my headcanon now. That's how it goes. Cardi B.
Everyone,
like,
I'm gonna do that for everyone
like-
now.
Yeah.
For everyone now.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Let's wrap up the show by talking about Agent Carter season 1.
Ooh.
And also
is there a season 2?
There is.
There is.
Yeah. I don't know what happens in season. I kind of knew the general idea of season 1 and what was going to occur. I guess season 2 ends with the forming of like S.H.I.E.L.D., if I had to guess. Like I don't know. We'll talk about that later. What did Jesse? How did you watch all of season 1 already? Okay.
I love season 1. I think it's great. The thing I forgot that I thought was very well timed for us is shout out to Dr. Faustus. Absolutely, totally forgot that was a plot point, and was like, "Oh, Marvel Midnight Suns!" So that was like fun.
Yeah,
to see him just be like, "I've been lying to you. I'm actually this other evil guy." Like, all right,
yeah, he was
a fan of that.
It was very much you know how the CW has like a type of show? ABC has that same type of show. And this is very much the ABC show.
Yes.
But it's like, I was still excited it was a very easy binge watch. Like it was, there nothing like crazy. I guess there are some like rather sudden deaths throughout the season.
Oh, guy jumped out a window.
Yeah, that guy straight jumped out a window. And he was a major character for sure. But like stakes were low. And it was fine. I had a good time.
It was literally like,
I'm gonna turn on spoilers.
It's an 8-episode arc that is real simple. It's like Tony Stark loses some shit, or not Tony Stark, his dad loses some stuff, and Peggy's got to get it back.
Yeah.
And it is up to her and Jarvis to like solve the case. And in the meantime, there's like some intrigue going on within the whatever it is.
SRR, because SSR is something. Maybe it is SSR.
I think it's SSR.
I think it is SSR. Yeah, you're right.
And
if they add one more
scientific
S,
reserve, yes. And it's it's fun because in the beginning, that first episode is like all callbacks. It's like, yeah, we got Vonko, we got this, and we watched that. So and then from there on, it's sort of like its own Peggy Carter adventure. In the background, every so often, like a little like you have a little taste of the Marvelverse, do this thing, and then eventually Stark calls up and is like, "Yo, I can help you, Peg. Don't worry, I'll come back from hiding in order to get you out of prison." That kind of stuff. Because Peggy's getting in trouble. She's getting in trouble trying to be,
It was very interesting. I don't know if you noticed this, Jesse or Bronze. There was a budget that this show had, and it couldn't afford Dominic Cooper for every episode.
Right.
He was only in like episode 1, episode 5, and then the last episode, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, he comes and basically the whole premise is like weird Stark tech out in the wild. And the big evil plan is the doctor who was like Vishchenko, whatever his name is actually not that dude, but is actually Dr. Faustus, and is one of our favorite Hydra like weird dudes.
Yeah.
And his plan is to unleash a chemical that is, I keep wanting to call it Black Rose because of Final Fantasy 14, but I know that's not what it's called.
It's a little
it
bit
is like
Rose, yeah.
But the idea is it makes people, it was a chemical that was for soldiers that would make them like have stamina and be super strong.
Make them
but
fight.
all it did was turn them into psychopaths. And he is going to unleash that on the population. And there's a cool, I admit, like it's kind of cool they did it in the theater, and like everyone in the theater goes bonkers. And then like by the time the dudes get there, everyone's dead, and it's like, it's very similar to.
Go ahead.
I would say it's very similar to Kingsman.
Yes, yeah. That scene where they are literally clawing out each other's eyes, and it's kind of gruesome. Especially like I would say it's more gruesome than the Disney Plus shows have been so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you said
And this
ABC,
was on
I was
primetime
like,
television.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that they had. And the other fact is, we mentioned a couple main characters get killed. It's kind of fucked up how they kill him. Guy jumps out of a window because he's mind controlled. Another guy goes to a bar, has a final drink, and then walks out into traffic.
Yeah. What's her face?
Pretty gruesome.
Dottie, spoilers. Dottie is literally like, I think Dottie is a
Black Widow.
A widow?
Yeah,
maybe?
I think that's the Widow program. I think that's the start of the Widow program.
I think that's what
I think it's
hinting at.
probably
Yeah,
the precursor to the Widow program.
I think so as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So like literally they have all it isn't directly plastered in your face, but literally the entire show is like, remember this?
Yeah.
You guys like this, don't you? And I love that. It wasn't like an in your face like R2D2 3PO showing up. It was just like, here's another fun thing, and here's another fun thing. And so
I also think
it was,
like where they succeeded a little bit was like it comes off as less bitter than She-Hulk did in places where it kind of seems like Agent Carter deals with a lot of the same shit.
Yeah.
But it's almost like she uses it to her advantage. Like it's really clever how she
can
Spider is a huge womanizer and she dresses up as a hot blonde and like does what she needs to do and gets the fuck out. And like I loved like one of the final episodes where it's like, you mean to tell me you fucking did all this investigative work underneath, like under our noses? And she's like, yes, you literally don't notice me unless I'm holding your lunch order or your fucking file. Yes, I did. You don't care about. And I was like, yeah, no, she 100 and like
it's a good
even
cover. Yeah,
like why Dottie is such a good widow. Like
yes.
Oh golly, mister, I'm just such an idiot. Like she uses it so many times to her advantage. Like I feel like the narrative undertones were so much better in this, and like hearing the damsel in distress constantly on the Captain America radio play like, oh geez, Cap, I hope you can save me. And then
God, that part like bothered me.
Yeah,
at my
and
core.
it's supposed to, right? And meanwhile, it cut to Agent Carter beating the shit out of people while that play is like in the background. Like people 100% underestimate her, and she 100% uses it to her advantage at every point. And it like it's eye opening in that like one of the episodes is literally called, what is it? It's not the glass ceiling. It's like the iron ceiling.
Yes, the iron ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, no matter what she does, like people are still gonna try to like she cracks a code and she can read Morse code and she has like all these skills, and yet like no matter what she does, people still look down on her. They still think that she's not equally capable, or they still think that she's not suited to go out in the field. But even when they're interrogating her, they're like, don't go easy on her just because she's a woman, and then they go easy on her just because she's a woman, right?
Yeah.
Like and so I feel like that narrative through line was like really well done. Like it's present throughout the entire series, but the show doesn't have to like look at the camera and be like, well, and everybody knows that because I'm a woman, there's no way they'll take me seriously, right? And I understand She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall. I get that. I understand that. I've read the Dan Slott comics. It's that sometimes it just comes off as a little bitter and a little jaded and a little like, we're going to do this to show that, you know.
It defeats the purpose of doing it in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And I feel like in this one, they didn't have to say that, right? Like you watching, you're just like, God, that's so annoying. Like they're going to ask her to fucking get them their coffee. Like she's a fucking agent. That's so fucking fucked up for you to treat her, ask her to go get your lunch order. Like that's Peggy Carter. She's a war vet.
I think there's an interesting aspect of that too, where like society today accepts that back then that type of shit happens, but today they don't expect or think that type of shit still happens. Right?
Right.
Yeah. And so I think that also works in favor of Agent Carter, because like people can look at them and be like, yeah, that happened. You know, it was a different time. It's how it was. But with She-Hulk, they have to like kind of be in your face. And it is a little bit over the top. But like it's because people don't think that still exists in a lot of ways.
I guess I understand that point. I just think with Agent Carter, it ties in with the story more. And with She-Hulk,
Absolutely, I
they
agree.
struggled to tie it in with the story. You know,
Yes,
And if
it
anyone
detracted from the story.
I agree.
And if anyone deserves to be bitter, it's like some of the characters, I think they did this in the first episode, but some of the characters in that time period really hammer home the fact that like all the men went off to fight a war and women ran the country for the most part while they were gone. And then the dudes came back, booted them from their jobs and was like, get back in the kitchen. And so if anything, there should be a lot more bitterness there, which they really don't go into. It's more like, oh, they came back thinking we were still the same people we were before they left.
Right.
Which is like, we're going to use that to our advantage kind of thing, which is an interesting way to spin that. And so I think they did that really well in Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also really liked, there is kind of like, they touch on, like I said, they touch on like old timey toxic masculinity in really interesting ways that I wasn't expecting. Like Sousa's entire character. Like they treat him basically like a woman, right? He gets the same treatment that Peggy Carter gets because it's like, oh, you served the country and you injured your leg. Well, you're not really any use to us now, Sousa. You're on night duty with Carter, and like that's of course why Sousa. I feel like he doesn't like have feelings for Carter. Oh, because she's hot. I'm sure that's part of it, but I think it's also because like they're constantly put on detail together.
You can relate,
like,
right?
You're basically a woman, you know, like.
Yeah.
You can't fight anymore. And he ends up being smarter and more resourceful than all of them.
I don't know if it's the same for you guys talking about, you brought up Sousa. I forgot his name, but the guy that was in fucking One Tree Hill, the guy that eventually replaces and becomes like captain of the group, the guy, the fighter guy, the interrogation guy, whatever that actor's name is. I fucking hate him. His role. He is so out of place for me because I cannot see him as anyone other than Lucas from One Tree Hill, the basketball star that is just
I haven't seen One Tree Hill.
Thank God, because holy shit. He like walks around, he's a fucking like pencil thin man in this supposed to be like nice looking jacket that just looks awful. And he's like, I'll go beat him up. Let me go beat him up.
His pants definitely look way too big for him. Like I noticed the pants. He'll have like the suspenders and the shirt, and then the pants look like Dick Tracy style big. Like,
I forgot his name even sucks. You know what his name is?
Huh.
That guy's name is Chad Michael Murray.
That's right. Chad Michael Murray.
Fuck.
Murray.
That's a powerful 80s, 90s actor right there.
God damn it, I hate that guy. He's probably in season 2 as well.
Going back to
I did
Sousa,
not
though,
like him, but I kind of like that. I don't think you're supposed to like him.
I don't think you're supposed
you're
to
not
either.
Supposed
Yeah. Sousa, you are supposed to like for sure.
Like Sousa's fascinating. I'm glad they gave him something to do besides being, because it's like awkward to be like, she loves Cap,
but not
this
me.
guy. There's like something there. I'm glad they gave him something to do because after a while, after like the first couple episodes, you're like, okay. And then he's like, is Peggy actually a spy? Is she up to? I love that bit where he's like, I think she might be a traitor, dude.
Yeah. So let me ask you, in the second Captain America film, when Peggy Carter is on her deathbed,
right?
Or is that Civil War? Or is that Is that the Winter Soldier?
She dies in
Civil War
in the second movie, which is why Sharon's there.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I got the two together. Did she marry Sousa? Is that explained at all, or is that
there's no mention of anything about her love life?
Okay.
At all.
All right.
Yeah.
I was
I don't
trying
know
to
if
think
this
back, like, if
matters
she did
for
or
season
not.
2, but like I know what happens.
Yeah. Well, I was there. I will say something at the end of this, so don't say that.
Sure.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought that was good. I thought when Howard Stark showed up, I really liked him. Dominic Cooper is great. He was only in like 4 episodes or something, but he plays that role very well in terms of being the lovable idiot who's also like kind of a piece of shit. That's Howard Stark in a nutshell.
That's a start, yeah.
I thought that was good.
I also feel like I feel like maybe it was a budget thing, but I liked that he wasn't there for every episode. I liked that Jarvis wasn't there for every
They
episode.
didn't. Yes,
And
that's
for
true.
me, it's like when they are there, it's not the problems you have with Marvel now. Like it's like when they're there, there's a very good reason for them to be there, and there's a reason for them to be with the plot. Like even the waitress at the cafe that's like ends up being her roommate. Like in the scenes she's in, there's a reason for her to be on camera. And if you look at the second to last episode, Agent Carter is not in there for a very large portion of it. Like she's locked in
True.
an office. And before that, she's locked in an interrogation room. And a big chunk of that is like the other agents at the SSR dealing with this like hypnotist. And she's not in a lot of that episode. And I kind of like that. I like the idea that like, yeah, like why not? Like if we don't build these characters up or show parts of their lives, like how are we going to feel bad for them when they die or when they're not there? And I feel like that's something they struggle with now. Like they don't have a reason to bring back certain characters, so they have to like
Force them.
ham fist
Yeah.
them. Like, well, the assistant, She-Hulk's assistant, has to be in the finale. Like so we're gonna have her drive to the resort. Like they go kind of off the rails because whereas I feel like in Agent Carter they're like, well, there's no reason for the waitress to be in the second to last episode that takes place completely at the SSR. There's no reason for her to be there. So she's not going to be there. I feel like now she'd be like, I gotta help Peggy, even though I'm just an actress, a waitress who wants to be an actress. Maybe I can fight my way in there. Like now I feel like she would have been on the street. And when the dude blew up, she would have died or something, or shrapnel would have hit her. Cause I feel like in this one, it just, everybody kind of moves in and out. Even Sousa. I feel like the reason I like Sousa is if you look at the first 3 or 4 episodes, he's barely in there. He's in there for like half a second.
He's
got
in there
a couple
to make sure you realize he's in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like he's the one that pays attention to her, right? They establish like, oh, he has a crush on her. He gets put on shit detail with her a lot, night shift with her a lot. He gets put on the bad shit. And because of that, he notices her. And the fact that he realizes she's the woman from the photo because he gets pranked by these assholes into seeing her unchanging. Chef's kiss. Like, well, yeah, because Seuss is the butt of every joke. And they think it's funny, like, oh yeah, let's tell her, oh yeah, what you mind getting my stuff from the locker on the left? And then knowing that she's changing in there. And then that's how he sees the bullet marks on her shoulders and pieces it together. That was beautifully done, where I'm like, those people were being dickheads to both Agent Carter and Sousa, like they always are. And because of that, he's going to blow this entire fucking thing wide open and be a better agent than all of you.
Yeah.
And he is. He's the one that's like, it's her. She's the blonde. And I was like, that's beautiful. Like, it's little things like that I think are like perfectly well done, where they have like this great narrative payoff that I feel like sometimes is missing now. Like no one else would have been put in that position because he has to do he gets put on this like, bring me a cup of coffee, bring me this. And that's why he's in that perfect position to like see that.
I feel like in today's Marvel, if they were to do that same thing, they would beat you over the head with it.
Yeah. I have to explain to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sousa would have been like,
yeah.
Well, Agent Carter, I think the reason I just relate to you so much is we kind of get treated the same.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how the guys treat me. I know that I got a bum leg, but I'm still smart. I'm still capable. And yet I know I'll never be treated equal, much like you. Oh, Sousa, I agree. I have feelings for you, but I'm still in love with Captain America, so I can't act on those feelings in good faith. Like, that's how it would have been now, where they have to tell. Like, clearly we need to explain this to the audience because our audience is too stupid to figure it out, you know?
That's correct. Yeah, that's very correct.
My problem is I worry sometimes they'll take it further. Like, Bronze, you're sitting there being like, I got a bum leg. They treat me just like you, just like a, second-class citizen. And then, like, Peggy will just, like, to camera be like, but you'll still never know what it's like to be a woman in America. Like, that kind of thing. I'm like, I worry we're going to get to that point where it's like, stop.
Maybe.
Please
Maybe.
stop.
So,
like, even with your bum leg, you're still better than American women. Like, damn. Like,
after all that,
I
have to say, after this entire season, Jesse, I got to say,
it's a good show.
it's a good show, but it's fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You just watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's good.
It's exactly the same thing as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. No, season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sucked. You never got past
season
Agent
1 of Agent Carter's great.
Season 1.
There you go. Different.
Yeah, because it came out in season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
learned
was
their
good.
lesson not to make garbage. Yeah, you're right. I agree. It's a good show.
I think you know what else Agent Carter proves? That if you have like a good lead, you can do a lot.
Yes.
Because there's some bad actors in this show. I'm not going to say there aren't. There's a couple
Michael Murray.
People that really
sucks.
suck. Yeah. There's a couple people that really fucking suck.
Oh, you want me to beat him up? That's his character. He walks into the scene. Nothing's happening. He's just like, you want me to beat him up? I can go in there and give him a couple bruises. Nothing is going on.
There's some bad actors in this show, but I think that like when you have a core that's good enough, you know, because I feel like Haley Atwell, is that her name?
Yes. Yeah, Agent Carter is Haley Atwell. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Haley Atwell, just I don't know. There's something likable about her, and there's something she does like. Yeah.
I watched.
She does a lot with the role.
I'm halfway through Captain America 1. In Captain America 1, she is much in the film. She's much like more. I don't want to say bitchy, but she's more commanding on screen in the moments that she's on screen. And I felt like they had to tone that down. So in the TV show, she's more likable.
I think she's likable in the movie.
Oh, I think she is as well. But it's much of the like, damn, she's like a badass likable. They dialed that back a little bit in the show and made her much more likable as just like a person while also still being badass.
I think some of that might also be that like some time has passed. Like I love the opening to the show where she's like,
that's true.
In the war, I did this. Now I bring people's lunch orders and their coffee. And it's like, I think like maybe she was like that at her first week at the SSR. And then she had to be like, okay, this doesn't work here. These people fucking, they don't,
Yeah.
All
the guys
they
are
don't care
okay,
about
toots,
me.
slap. Yeah, like they didn't
Yeah. Like, so I think like I love that they kind of did tone that down because it wouldn't have worked. I think if she was like, you know, I'm more competent than all. I love that Jarvis like says that to her when she's like,
well, let's talk about Jarvis. We only mentioned him in name, but yeah, let's talk about Jarvis. Sorry, go ahead.
I love that Jarvis like almost reels her in and like reminds her how the world really works in a couple places and then we find out he's been on the brunt end of that. Like this dude had a successful career in the war and all this and basically gave it all away because he forged a signature on transit papers for his Jewish wife. And then it also makes sense why he dotes on his wife so very much, like when you have that context.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite things Jarvis does is when she's like, I'm going to tell them where Tony Stark's stolen tech is, and then they're going to have to give me credit, and da-da-da-da. And he's like, number one, you're going to have to tell them how you knew this was here. Number two, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You're smoking crazy pills. Like they're not going to be like, oh, Agent Carter, you got Stark's tech. He's like, what are you? And I love that he was like the voice of reason, like the working class guy that's like, no, that's not how it's going to happen. And she's like, well, you know, I just want them to respect me. He's like, everybody important does respect you. He's like, I respect you. Howard Stark respects you. And these people, the people that don't respect you don't fucking matter. I love that he's the person that did that because you see him get disrespected like 18 times throughout the show.
He gets treated like shit for pretty much the entire season. Yeah. I really liked his character. And I thought it was very strange because every time I would hear him talk, I would expect to see a different actor, the one who plays Vision, because they kept saying Jarvis, and I would think like, oh, it's that. No, it's not that. But wait, he sounds nope, it's not that Jarvis, but it is Jarvis. Like I had a weird disconnect constantly.
But it was additive. Like knowing this Jarvis makes
it better.
Iron Man movie Jarvis more fun because you can see kind of where he like Tony got this idea for this AI from. It's like I like that.
Yeah, and even personality-wise, they're
dude-
very similar.
Yeah.
Probably raised him more than his dad did.
Probably. Oh, you're probably
100.
right. Yeah.
Because
100.
as you can see, like Jarvis does more than just handle Howard's estate.
Yes.
He also makes amends for Howard's wrongdoings. And I think in a lot of ways, he probably did that in terms of raising Tony too. He was probably a more formative, more fathering,
and probably instilled a lot of
entity.
goodness in him. Because Howard
I
Stark
think that's why Tony's
was a
less
piece
of a
of shit.
than Howard.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's because Jarvis would be like, oh yeah, your dad said he was going to be here and he's not, so I'm going to make this up to you because I am a man of like morals and virtues.
Yeah.
Even at the end when he gives the blood to Agent Carter and he says, oh, Tony Stark does not own my integrity. Like he he can't buy my integrity. I was like, because it's like he's still his own person. And I think everyone else is like, you're just Howard's lackey. And it's like, no, he goes against Howard all the time. He does shit behind his back all the time.
Yeah. It was good.
What I think is fascinating is if this was comic book Marvel, it would change a little bit. But in MCU, Tony's born in 1970. And that means Jarvis, who is middle-aged and 45.
He's like 30s, yeah. So he would have been in his 60s or 70s.
So like most of what Tony knows is like old man Jarvis, which I think they can get away with a lot of like different vocal inflect. Like they can get away with a lot of that stuff because they had to change the timetables because the movies came out, in the 2000s. So Tony had to have been born in the 70s rather than being born in like 1953, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's fascinating. I love this kind of stuff. So there's a difference there, and we get a little bit of like, oh, so Jarvis would have been old, right? Like he would have been pushing 70 by the time that he was dealing with Tony.
Yep. Yeah. The other thing I noticed with the show, watching Captain America again, the first one, is the sets and the budget for the movie compared to the sets and the budget for the show are like, holy shit, they are wildly like fucking. The ABC just got shit on with their money for this show because that is just wildly different in terms of how much money they put into those sets. And I would love to see a like future Disney Plus show where it's not set in modern day MCU or not set in like even the 80s, what they did with like Captain Marvel. Go back in time and like show us, if they want to do the whole mutant thing, show us Logan or show us, a Magneto thing where you have like an anti hero.
World War II Magneto origin.
I love that.
It would be fucking sick if they did that type of stuff. And it had the budget to like have, the movie quality sets, which, Disney Plus has that budget.
I think like this show did really well with showing 5 locations.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. They were in the same location over and over.
5 locations.
They were in the office.
They had the office.
They were in the diner.
Yeah.
They were in her apartment and the apartment complex. And then like
the apartment, her new apartment looked so much like her old apartment. I was like, did they
weird how that is.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange how they just like had a door on the opposite side of the wall.
Yeah, her 2 apartments were like basically the same.
Yes.
It was the time period, everything was the same.
Yeah. And
New York City.
They did a really good job with the Bronze, you mentioned it earlier, but the radio shows. I hated listening to those and watching those, but it was like very well done. When they would they do like a fight scene and it shows the guy punching meat with a mic up next to it or whatever. It was fun because that's what they really did back then. Like that's how that shit was.
And
produced.
the hammy acting, the fact that like her friend won't get roles because she has realistic acting, and what they want is actors who can, so it's like, oh, Captain, and it's like, no wonder she's not booking any roles. She's like acting from a much more authentic place.
That's all I want.
I think
is
what they want is like,
back.
don't you know I love you? Like that was so common back then,
It's not me, doll. It's this crazy world of ours. Like I want to,
Here I am, living hand to mouth, And it's your fault. And she's like over here giving this realistic performance. And I'm like, girl, do you watch movies? You need to chew the scenery.
Yeah.
You need to like go crazy. Otherwise, you're never going to get cast. I could have told her she wasn't going to get cast. Put on a show, you know? Be a Katharine Hepburn.
That's
go
exactly
crazy.
Right. That's exactly right.
Oh.
Yeah. See, Jesse would have acted back then. Jesse would have been in movies.
I'm ready,
100%. He would have
I'm
been all
ready
over
for my. I would be. I'd be like, come up and see me sometimes, fella.
See?
Stop.
Hello, boy.
Oh God, I hate that voice. Don't ever do that voice. Oh my God. Jesse, can you play a D&D character where you just do that voice nonstop?
Well, of course, there.
I don't know what class you are.
JP.
What class is that?
What's the P stand for, baby? Yeah.
Well, now you're just being the
You have to make
Joker.
weird
That was
noises
just
when
like
you're
a
done.
weird Joker there, where you did.
No,
You're
when
like
you're done,
Adam.
you have to make, like, weird,
You were
like,
the Adam West Joker just then. All of a sudden.
You'll never get me, copper. Yeah. You have to make like a noise.
Have you seen? Do you have a mental image, a constant mental image like I do of Adam West Joker? Do you know what he looks like?
The Adam West Joker with the mustache? Yes, of course I know who that looks
The
like.
painted over mustache. Yeah.
That's my favorite part. Yeah, it's great.
He's so fucking ridiculous. He's just.
I love his laugh because he goes, ho, 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 ho. Yeah.
Just, look at this. Look at this fucking shot.
I'm more thinking of Adam West Penguin,
Oh
who is
God.
the exact same actor as Rocky's coach, Mickey, by the way.
I know.
See? Yeah. He waddles.
God.
You're not going to be Batman. Nah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, so we finished season 1. Jesse is he's big timing us, Bronze.
He's big timing us?
He's big
Not
timing
big
us
timing anyone.
because next week he's going to a convention. He won't be here.
I'm back,
Whoa! I've
baby.
been big
Thing.
time.
We're getting big time.
I can't believe you big time me like this, Jesse.
So
always
You
knew
may
I
have
was big
forgotten
time,
where
doll.
you've come from, but I haven't.
I hate this.
I've always been big time. Nah.
So
Me and JP made your career, and God damn it, we can take it away.
I'd like to see it. Take it from me, copper. Yeah.
we've got 2 weeks. Why did you just go like Jesse?
Those are my guns. Those are my 2 guns.
Never
I
do
said,
this
"Let you take it
again,
from
Jesse
me."
Cox.
He's got
You're-
guns now.
Jesse
I guess.
Cox, you're
I guess
banned.
He has guns.
Never
now.
do that again.
Let's take it from me, copper. Yeah.
You can't do. You're gonna get shot. Don't do that. So Jesse's not gonna be here next week. So we have 2 weeks potentially without a show. Do you want to watch season 2 of Agent Carter and finish it up?
Yeah, I'm done.
I am absolutely down for that. I don't remember it being as good as season 1.
Chad said
But I
it was
don't think-
actually
I
really
think-
good and better.
Oh.
What now?
Oh,
Chad said it was really
no.
good and even better. Someone in chat said.
I don't
Even better.
remember much because it also came out. It was out in 2016. I
2016.
think.
Yeah, 2016.
That was I didn't watch it all like in a row. I watched bits and pieces. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember much of it.
There's
So
10 episodes. If that's a thing, if you care about that. But they're all
We
about
could
42
easily
minutes
do that.
long. So 420 minutes. Smoke them if you got them. What does that work out to hours wise? 7 hours of Agent Carter is what that equals out to. In 2 weeks.
You'll find out more about Sousa.
Okay.
Sousa.
Yeah, you'll get answers to
Is
what
he
you
a
wanted.
scroll?
Everyone in the show is a scroll, actually. This
I
is
know
the
it.
original Secret Wars.
I know.
Yep.
Okay, so we're all down then. 2 weeks, we'll do that.
Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
We could. Jesse, you said you're not back till late next week. Is that right?
I get back I get back at like 1 p.m. on Monday.
Great. So,
So,
then let's do
we
this. We won't do an MCU crew live next week. We can watch that Ant-Man trailer Monday evening and still put a react video out to that if you want.
How do you know there's an Ant-Man trailer on Monday?
That's what we talked about. They're going to show it at the football game next Monday. They're showing a new trailer. We talked about that on this very show.
Is it a
Yeah, I
new
remember
trailer? Is
JP
it-
mentioned a thing and both of our eyes glazed over, and he said it's a sports thing because he could see both of our eyes glazing over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know that it was then. But that's fine. That checks out.
Next
all
Monday,
right.
yeah. So it'll be
Okay.
like 7 or 8 Eastern.
I'll be around.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure some out. Maybe we can record next Monday. And then the 16th is when we'll be back with another episode of live episode of MCU Crew, and we'll talk about Agent Carter season 2 and whatever else is going on in the MCU.
A lot of Ant-Man stuff. Yeah,
probably, yeah. And then we got till like February to watch some more stuff.
Lovely.
Maybe some watch along episodes of Iron Fist season 2. You know.
No. No.
Or I think it would be fun if we just skip to the final episode of Inhumans. We watched the first and the last episode.
Will we know what's going on?
No.
Did we know what was going on in the first episode?
The first episode? No.
I'm down for that. I'd love to see how they decide to end it.
There was a human that became a dog. He got turned into a dog.
A woman's superpowers were taken away from her in the first
and
episode.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that'd be fun to watch that final episode.
They cut off her hair. She has no superpowers.
And people treat him like a dog.
Yeah.
Even though he was a person.
Well, like, can you imagine you got one of those little tubes and you just like came out a dog? Come on, man. I'd be so upset. I'd be like, you kidding me?
It'd be great. It'd be great. I love that we took a thing that didn't actually happen, and that's just canon now. I don't think Lockjaw was a human.
What happens to Pokemon hair? I have so many questions.
Oh, that's right. Crystal. She's the worst card in Marvel Snap. If you
I believe that. No, that checks out.
She sucks. She's a tier 3 that no one fucking uses. She's bad.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. Let's do some shout outs and wrap it up. Watch Agent Carter season 2 for the next 2 weeks. And then next week we'll also do that Ant-Man React. So you can look for that on YouTube. Jesse Cox, what do you got going on? Where can people check you out?
Hey, we back with all the news you can't use and all those other things. Holiday break is over. Gonna start getting stuff done. And then if you are in DC this weekend, stop on by MagFest. I'm hosting a few wacky shows there, like I do every year, and then we'll be back to watch an Ant-Man trailer, I guess. I'm excited for that. I wanna see more Kang.
Gotta get
Give me the Kang.
Get your Kang.
Give me the Kang.
Okay, we'll get you some Kang next week.
Give me the Kang.
Bronze, what are you doing?
Hi, hello. I'm that bronze girl. I'm gonna be painting. I'm gonna be painting some miniatures. Maybe tonight. We'll see. I'm a little busy. Definitely tomorrow. Over with Jerry at the Penny Arcade Studios. So check that out on Penny Arcade. Then I'm going to a wrestling show. I'm not gonna be streaming tomorrow on my own channel.
Ooh,
And
nice.
then of course Wednesdays we've got Last Call for Adventure. I might spend tonight prepping for that. Yeah, other than that, I'm super excited to like focus on my channel and on putting out dope YouTube content and stuff like that. This Friday, we've got our comic book show, Bagged and Boarded. And that's really just my fancy way of saying I'm not booked for anything right now. That's okay, because I still make content on my own channel.
I'm just gonna stay on this because the longer I stay on the scene, it gets sadder. It just gets sadder. It's great. All right. That's it. Thank you guys
My
for watching.
career
MCU
is
Crew.
over.
rip.
R.I.P. Yeah.
It was good while it lasted.
That's a giant. What do you put in there? Coffee?
Kombucha.
A shit ton of coffee.
God damn, that's like a 32 ouncer of coffee.
Yeah, I drink.
See, what you need to do, Bronze, is get sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts, and then they just send you a small tumbler. And it's not that
I
much
told
coffee.
you my career was over. Duncan's not gonna fuck with me now.
Yeah, how dare you? You literally she just said my career's over. And you
See,
said what you need to do is have a
Is
career.
you get sponsored by multivitamins like Men's Vita Fusion.
How are you getting sponsored by multivitamins?
See, what you do is you get sponsored by Green Tape. And then
How'd you get green tape sponsorships?
man,
I want green tape sponsorships.
See, what you do is you get sponsored by Neutrogena Hydra Boost Moisturizer.
Here's the thing.
Fragrance
You need to get
free.
sponsored.
Extra
You
dry.
get sponsored by that, you have money. That's some cosmetic money. You'll be living, you won't have to work again.
Would you guys like to hear the story of we'll end the show with a story about my father. I'm just grabbing random shit from my desk. And this is where we're going.
I guess.
When I was the age of 8, we had a lake house.
You were a young warthog, yes.
We had at this lake house a boathouse. And this boathouse was on the side of the land. And you would cast from the land out to a giant stump in the middle of the water.
That's how boathouses work.
Because the fish would hang out at the stump, because that's what fish do for some reason, is hang out in wood. Next to said stump was a flowering plant that had many a bees and wasp, which I don't like. I would cast oftentimes from the dock over into the stump to catch fish.
No.
This one time,
No.
my lure got stuck in the flowering plant, filled with bees and wasps.
Oh no.
In order to
Is this
unhook
a real JP story. What are we doing
this
right
is
now?
absolutely real. In order to unhook or untangle a treble hook lure from said flowering plant, you have to pop the line. You get it real slack, and then you let go, and it pops it, and it gets loose. In doing so, I got very worried that a wasp or a bee was going to come and sting me. So I hastily started whipping the rod back and forth, as you do.
Oh no.
In doing that, it released the lure from the flowering plant, shot it towards me at incredible speed on the side of the lake, and went right into my kneecap. And I had to be rushed to the hospital 40 minutes away. My father found this hilarious, and so after the fact, he gave me this with the very same lure and a trophy that says JP Thank. Dated July 16th, 1995.
I love that you still have that. Now that is a good desk item. That is.
We
I was
found
wondering
it.
where this is going.
We found
Your
it.
dad
Your
is
dad-
a troll.
Oh, 100%.
Your dad is
That's where I
troll.
get it from.
Yeah.
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 We were in a
That's
storage
like-
unit, and he goes, JP, look at this. And I go, you son of a bitch. He goes, you should take
That's
that.
so good.
So he took it when I was home for Christmas. It's great. That's great. And this
Now that's a
is
tchotchke.
this is the exact lure. You'll notice that there's a missing treble hook right there
That was in your leg?
because it was in my fucking knee. there you go.
Amazing.
That's the fish I didn't catch. Instead, caught myself. That's it, everyone. Thanks for watching the MCU crew. We'll see you in 2 weeks or next week if you're watching on YouTube, where we'll react to that Ant-Man.
I got
And the
on
Wasp.
JP, did you cry? Were you crying?
When I got that in my knee,
Yeah.
no. I was very strange. I was very accident prone, and I never cried. I ran into a back of a parked car on a plastic tricycle, and that's where I have a scar on my face from. Didn't cry. My dad hit me in the face with a hammer because I was leaning over him as he was hammering into the wood, and the back of it hit me in
I was
my
hitting
other
the head
eye.
with a golf club. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that.
Just normal
Mhm.
kid shit.
Yeah.
Bronze, any?
I got a stick through the head.
You got a stick through the head?
There's a scar right here. Yeah, I was on a swing, and there was a time when they put like wood chips on like underneath swings, and I
Sure.
was on a swing, and we were trying to do like a full loop around,
Oh,
and I like
boy.
went up to it and flipped off and landed face first, and all of the things came up, and there was like a stick like pointing directly out of my head. Oh yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I have a lot of head trauma in my past.
I-
A lot.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Tune in 2 weeks to find out all about Bronze's head trauma
Yeah.
that Jesse and JP
It's only
have
psychological,
created.
though.
Yeah, it's all psychological,
Yeah.
and it's our
It's
doing.
all psychological in
It's our
Bronze's
doing.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just go to her stream and ask her, Bronze, what's your head trauma?
Yeah.
As she streams almost every single night. Go and
Yeah,
ask
so
her.
just go do that.
Have a good one, Bronze. We'll see you guys Wednesday for last call. If we don't see you next week, we're out of here. Bye bye.